Welcome to Wildcat Park for another game here in the South Suburban Conference. Prior Lake Lakers travel to Eagan for a conference matchup here today, and a lovely day, lovely weather. Got a little bit of a breeze out to left, which we'll get to the weather here in a bit. But we do, like I said, we do have Prior Lake coming to Eagan here today. Both of them are still kind of jockeying for seedings, but that'll be handled on Thursday. So as you can see, 82 degrees. We do have 9-mile-an-hour wind out to southeast. No precip, and the humidity is low. Wind's going to be blowing out to left field. So ball gets up in the old jet stream. Might see some home runs today out to left field. Eagan will be starting off with their senior, Danny Lockemeyer, on the mound. We'll get through Danny's stats. And then here's our standings as we were talking about earlier. Eagan sitting on the bottom, but you got South, Farmington, Eastview, and Rosemont as the top 4 dogs right now, followed by North, Shakopee, Burnsville, Prior Lake, Apple Valley, Eagan. Prior Lake comes in, looks like they were 8-9 overall. I know Eagan's 5-12 overall. So potentially an even match game. It's going to probably come down to, obviously, you can throw strikes as well as playing solid and sound defense. So Danny Lockemeyer, though, on the mound. And then here's our batting lineup for Prior Lake. You got Bodine out in left field, Goldberg at shortstop, Anthony at right field, Fleek at catcher, Sprecher at first, Johnson at second, Stefani DHing today, and he's DHing for the pitcher Stelzig. And then you got Barrett at second and Slates out in center field. My name is Casey Lux. I'll be joined mid-game or so by a parent of Chris Eggleston and his father Jamie. So excited to have him on for the first time this season. So we'll get up and running. But yes, Danny Lockemeyer, as you mentioned, perfect time to show that graphic. This will be his 6th start on the season. He's thrown 25 1/3 innings already this year. He's 2-0 on the year, and he's had a couple tough bad breaks where he probably could have gotten another win or two in that win column. 15 hits. He's only given up 7 runs, 30 strikeouts, so more than a strikeout an inning. What's kind of hurt him at times, though, is those high ball counts and walks, as he has 17 walks on the season, but a slender 1.93 ERA on the season. So obviously Danny Lockemeyer would be considered Eagan's ace starting pitcher. But yeah, and then we'll get into Egan's defense. It's pretty much what you've seen if you followed along this year, or if you're a fan of Eagan. Not a whole lot of wholesale changes as far as Eagan on the defensive side. So excited to be here. 82 degrees, lovely day, got a breeze. No clouds in sight. We got Tate Gage out in left, George Anderson in center, Rockford in right. So Rockford playing right today, Eckerly playing second, Fensky at first, New at short, Huseman at third, Lunenburg is doing the catching. So basically the only flip-flop today is we have Ryan Eckerly playing second base and David Rockford is out in right field. So we are getting set to go here for the first strike. First pitch is 9 minutes late, so at 4:39. That's okay. I think it may be due to that long national anthem by Leanne Rimes. I think that was drawn out quite a bit. So fastball right down the plate from Lockmeyer. Lockmeyer's going to go fastball, slider, and does throw a changeup. Quick pop-up. It's going to be New. He's going to gauge underneath it, and he does. So 2 pitches, 1 out. Quickly for Lockmeyer. Bringing up the shortstop, which is Jackson Goldberg. Jackson hitting lefty. As far as Prior Lake goes, first pitch swung on, hit over to Eckerly, relays in time to Fensky. So 3 pitches, 2 outs. Efficient work here early on by Lockmeyer. It's going to bring up Hayden Anthony, who's playing right field today. But when Danny's going well, it's a fastball, curveball. So far, so good for Danny. He's looking sharp. 4 pitches, 3 strikes. Fastball's up high. What you'll see from Eagan as the game goes along, we'll see if we see it today, but they do like to shift. They're not afraid to shift lefties or shift their righties every once in a while, but so far playing straight up. 1-2 count, 2 down as Lockmeyer is working quick and looks to be in an early groove. Prior Lake is a young squad coming into the season as he gets his first strikeout of the day. So a quick inning. I think it was about 9 pitches. So for Prior Lake in the top of the first, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the first here at Wildcat Park.
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
How you holding up? Nothing wrong with getting help.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Time for dinner.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Quick inning for Danny Lockmeyer, the starting pitcher, as he only needed 9 pitches to get through that first inning. And then we're going to take a look here at Eagan's lineup here in a second. And we'll be ready to go. There we go. We got George Anderson, the senior center fielder, Will Huseman, senior third baseman, Rockford out in right, Fensky at first, Elias New at short, Lunenburg, the freshman, catching. Eckerly today's at second. The DH today is Joe Anderson, he's junior, and out in left field will be Tate Gage. So there's your Eagan home lineup Pretty familiar lineup for the most part, as I mentioned before. Eckerly in at second today, and Anderson doing the DHing. For Prior Lake Lakers, their defensive alignment will be going Bodine in left, Slates in center, Anthony in right. Across the infield, you got Barrett, Goldberg, Johnson at second, Sprecher at first. The battery today will be Stelzig on the mound and Linus Fleet doing the catching. Getting into Prior Lake a little bit, though, what we found out was last year they graduated 16 seniors, so a huge senior class. So coming into this year was a pretty inexperienced young team. Bodine, the left fielder, is set to go play at St. John's. And Johnson, the second baseman, set to play in Kansas at Benedictine, in Kansas. But they've had three main pitchers that have kind of carried their roster this year, as three of their main starters are about a 2.5 ERA or under. So we'll see what the Eagan can muster up against the lefty Stelzig, the southpaw today. George Anderson, the senior, the speedster, always a threat for the drag bunt, and obviously Prior Lake's got him scouted here as they got Barrett up on the grass. Anderson on the year leading the team and hitting at .275. First pitch from Stelzig. Fastball's up. Got some good snap here from the lefty. Otherwise, Prior Lake playing Anderson straight up, other than bringing in the third baseman Barrett to take away that drag bunt. Stelzig's fastball's in there for a strike, making it 1-1. We'll see how much that wind comes into play, as we said. At game time, it was 9 miles an hour. It feels like it's already kind of picking back up to around that 15 range. So getting the ball up in the jet stream can obviously go out to left pretty quick. Inside fastball just misses to Anderson for a good take there to make it 2-1 here early on. Anderson has a .393 on base percentage. Ball's hit to Hopper, over to Goldberg. Goldberg's relay in time to Sprecher. So big out there for Stelzig to keep that team speed. The speedster Anderson off the base pass here in the top of the first. The third baseman now will be the senior Will Huseman. Will Huseman set to play next year at Concordia St. Paul. Same college that Coach Steve Butler, the head coach, and myself both played baseball at as well. So happy to see another Golden Bear, as well as the pitching coach, Luke Degramont, just graduated from Concordia St. Paul last year. So Huseman steps in. He's got a home run on the season and a triple on the season. 7 RBIs, which puts him in third high for the team. Fastball in there for a strike. Will also has 4 stolen bases, so some might say sneaky fast for a third baseman. Taller, bigger kid with the long strides. Stelzig living around the zone. Eagan's gonna send 4 lefties today against him. Curveball in the dirt. 1-1 is our early count.
When you got up.
Big thing for Eagan is trying to just get off on a good foot early. Staying away from that big inning. And just even trying to cause just a little havoc on the bases, even if they don't score. But just work the pitch count. Is that curveball never curved and stayed up high? But that's where they've kind of been bit, is that one big inning on defense. It's usually been due more so to errors than to walks and bad pitching. 2-1, 1 down. Stelzig, high heater, gets past Huseman. So evens up the count, 2-2. Bodine playing deep and left with that wind coming right at him. As well as Anthony played somewhat medium distance out in right field. Huseman working the count. 3-2 now is our count. 1 down as Anderson grounded out to the shortstop Goldberg to start off the inning. Stelzig's been living around the zone, other than this being his highest count, 3-ball count. Payoff pitch. Swung on, hit out to left. Couple steps in for Bodine and makes a routine catch. So Bodine had him tracked, had him scouted well there because Bodine only had to come in about 2 straight steps and for a fly out. The right fielder is going to be the senior David Rockford. David, the utility man to a sense for Eagan. Can play right, can play second, can play all over the field. Today being used out in right field. David having an excellent season, 400 on base percentage. He got a double, he's got a triple. 7 stolen bases, 8 runs. So when he gets on base, good things tend to happen. Fastball, ripped, hot shot over the glove of the shortstop Goldberg. Rockford gonna take a big round, but gonna stay at first for Egan's first hit of the day. Nice piece of hitting there. Just went with the pitch, with a laser over the jumping Goldberg. Griffin Fensky will step in, senior, going to Iowa Westland next year to play baseball. Another interesting aspect of today's game is that first fastball gets crossed for a strike will be with 2 lefties on the mound, how well they are able to hold runners at first and maybe slow down that run game. Eagan likes to be aggressive on the base pass. We'll see about Prior Lake as well if they want to try to test the freshman catcher, Lunenborg. Throw over from Stelzig to Sprecher, and Rockford gets back in time.
1-2-2.
0-1 count, 2 down. First hit of the game was number 3 hitter David Rockford. Fensky's got 3 home runs on the season, so he's looking for anything inside to pop up over that big green monster.
554.
Leads the team in RBIs at 15. 9 runs scored, also has 3 stolen bases. On base percentage is at .379 with 3 doubles. Curveball stays out. 2-1 count, 2 down here. Bottom of the first, Wildcat Park. South Suburban Conference matchup. As of now, Prior Lake's in the 8th spot. Egan's in the 10th spot as far as conference goes. Big week for area teams as they're going to be getting ready for the playoffs. Throw over again from Stelzig. Nice dig there by Sprecher. But not only is it a big week for potentially a conference moving around in the standings, but more so just kind of cleaning up, getting your rotation set up as playoffs are around the corner. Good habits here this week. Rockford off and running. Hit and run to perfection as Fensky hits it to right. It's going to send Rockford to third. Perfect hit and run. Just what they drew up. So, Eagan with their first threat of the day. Fensky at first, Rockford at third. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Elias New. But a good count there for a hit and run since it was a 2-1 count. Coach Butler understanding that Stelzig's going to have to come in probably with the fastball. And a nice piece of hitting there by Fensky just to go with it, not try to roll it over, so to say, and just hit a routine grounder to third or short. Elias hitting 250 on the year, 327 on base percentage. He's got a triple and a double on the year as well. 8 stolen bases, 4 runs. Gonna get a quick time here. Maybe something was seen. Their pitching coach is Zach Horn. So they maybe, could be usually one of 2 things. It could be either worry of either tipping a pitch or at the same time understanding that Eagan might try a first and third type of play here to try to squeeze in Rockford. So 2 down here early on. Back-to-back singles from Rockford and Fensky, as Fensky's at first and Rockford's at third. Eagan has 2 games this week. They'll be playing their final home game Wednesday at 4:30 as Eastview will come to town. Make the short trip, so to say. 1-0 count. Shortstop Elias New at the plate. Elias also a versatile player, can handle short and second. I think I've also maybe seen him in the outfield in the past. All right, Fenske's going to take off early. They're going to send Rockford home, and he's going to steal a run. Fenske's going to round second, and he's going to end up in third. Take a big turn. So Eagan runs a little first and third play, steals a run here with 2 outs. Now we have Fenske at third with Elias New at the plate. Still a 2-0 count with 2 down here in the first. So yeah, Fenske took off plenty early. Hard to say what the best play is there, if it's either to hold on to it, run at him, or just get it out of your hand right away. But once he threw it to the shortstop Goldberg, that was Rockford's cue to take off. 2-0 count, 2 down. Bottom of the first, Eagan up early, 1-0 at Wildcat Park against the Prior Lake Lakers. Big swing from New on a high heater. Makes it 2-1 here. I'm Casey Lux, as I mentioned. Mid-game, we'll get a Jamie Eggleston will join us. Former Division I pitcher at Clemson, so we can definitely talk plenty of pitching throughout the broadcast once Jamie joins me here today. 3-1 count as that fastball was out. Great crowd here today. Prior Lake as well as Eagan. Beautiful day. No need to be sitting inside. 3-1 pitch. Fastball hit up the middle. Past the outstretched Goldberg. RBI for New. Third hit of the first for Eagan, as they now have 2 runs here early on. So New will pick up his 5th RBI on the year. Excuse me, 3rd RBI on the year. And that'll bring up the catcher, the freshman Brandon Lundenborg. On the year, Brandon is second on the team in RBIs with 10. He's got 3 doubles, 404 on base percentage. Does a nice job behind the plate. Keeps getting better each and every game. And it doesn't look like varsity baseball is too big for him, even early on from the onset. Nice curveball in there for a strike for Stelzig. Get ahead early. New is a threat to steal, as he has 8 stolen bases on the year. Eagan has 5 guys. Ooh, there's going to be a pickoff. Nice crafty play by Stelzig to pick off New to end the inning. But Eagan does strike twice, so they get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and nobody left on. It's 2-0 here as we roll into the top of the second. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the top of the second inning here at Wildcat Park.
Honey, what I think you need is a soccer.
I play JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes. Good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Welcome back as we come back to Wildcat Park. Eagan strikes first with 2 in the bottom of the first. A perfect hit and run by Griffin Fenske as he shot a base hit to right field as David Rockford was taking off and running. That put us at first and third. Griffin Fenske took off early, and they were able to get the old first and third play to work to perfection. The bat throw home allowed Fensky all the way to get to third, and then came in on a nice base hit up the middle by Elias New. So Eagan was quick on Stelze to get 3 hits early on in the bottom of the first. Danny Lockemeyer had an excellent first inning. Only needed 9 pitches, unofficially, might have been 8 to get through the first inning. A pop-up, a ground out, and a strikeout. So quick work by Danny Lockemeyer, the team ace. And if he can keep his pitch count down, he might be able to go deep into today's outing as well. Lockemeyer, as we said, is his 6th start of the season, 2-0 on the year. I know 2 games that I've seen him pitch here at home, though he was in line for the win, and then unfortunately that lead was lost. So Linus Fleek will come up. He's the catcher here today. Prior Lake's already sent a few lefties as well, so might play into Lockemeyer's bevy of pitches into his hands. As you mentioned, Prior Lake is a very young team. The only returning, really only had 2 returning starters from last year. That would have been the second baseman, Matt Johnson, and pitcher, Ty Smith. First pitch, curveball out, slider, out. Ty Smith was a honorable mention for the South Suburban Conference last year. Fleek steps in, a junior. 1-0. Fastball in the dirt, so quickly 2-0 here, the count to Fleek. We have Eckerly shading a little bit since it's a lefty. And George Anderson, a little shade as well to right center. Fastball again low, so quickly 3-0, and that's going to bring Lundenborg out to talk to Lockemeyer. Maybe a little excitement after those 2 runs in the bottom of the first, as Danny's just trying to get his bearings back here in the top of the second. Tentatively, this is our last game here on Eagan TV for Eagan Wildcats baseball. We'll see how the playoffs shake out. As if there's a deep run, there might be more games added as the weeks come on. There's that strike over the middle to get over 3-1 pitch, or 3-1. Always like to thank, though, the Eagan crew, the camera crew, men and women, those in the truck, do so much to promote not only local sports, but Eagan sports as well. As Fleet takes that fastball outside for a ball, that's Lockemeyer's first walk of the day. Cole Sprecher, the first baseman, is now going to come up. Sprecher is a senior. Fleek on first, so we'll see how aggressive Prior Lake wants to play this here early on today. Fleek's got the oven mitt on his hand, so maybe an indication that he's got some speed. It might be taken off at some point. Fastball just misses up. Looked like a good pitch. So Lockemeyer trying to get locked back in here into the strike zone. A little erratic here to start the second. 5-pitch walk to Fleek. Early 1-0 count to Sprecher. There's a fastball over the middle. 1-1. Eckerly playing second today. He can play second as well as short. We've seen him started short this season. Been impressed with Eagan's infield, especially when it comes to double plays. Turned numerous double plays already this season at home, the games that I've attended. That one swung on and missed, but pops out of the glove Lunenborg, but Fleek stays still at first. 1-2 count. 2-0 score here, top of the second, Wildcat Park. South Suburban Conference matchup. Prior Lake traveling over to Eagan. Lockemeyer yet to throw over. And he's going to get a looking strike 3 on Sprecher. That'll bring up the second baseman, Matt Johnson. So second strikeout of the day for Lockemeyer. Johnson, as we said, set to go play college baseball at St. John's. up in Collegeville, and a returning starter from last year. Looks like 8 seniors on this Prior Lake squad. And they have 4 sophomores as well, and then the rest would be juniors, excuse me. Fastball misses, 1-0 count, 1 down. Fleek at first, reached on a walk. Lockemeyer finally throws over, has him picked off. Relay in time, safe. So Fleek must have just got that left hand in the backside of the base before New was able to put the tag on. Excellent time for the throw over by Lockemeyer. Picked the right time that Fleek was taking off. Good throw from Fensky, the relay from Fensky to New. It was a bang-bang play. It was hard to see if you got the left hand in with the that oven mitt on, or if you got the right hand in on the backside, but did just beat the tag by Elias New. Coach Butler just out to get a little explanation. So we got I believe that was a strike. No, it threw over. So it's still 1-0 count, 1 down. Now Fleek on second. Second baseman is Matt Johnson, the senior, at the plate. So Prior Lake starting to get a threat early on here, as the DH is on deck. Danny does have the strikeout capacity, as he's averages 1 strikeout, more than 1 strikeout an inning. As coming in today, he had 30 strikeouts to 25 in a 3rd innings pitch. Fastball popped up, foul. 1-1 now the count. So he's able to potentially take some of these guys himself, as long as he lives around the plate. Keep it low on the outside corner. He tends to work fastball, slider primarily. All right, there's our 1-1 pitch. Low and out. Eagan scored 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Fleek was the first runner for today's game for Prior Lake, as he had a leadoff walk, 5-pitch walk to start the top of the 2nd for Prior Lake. 82 degrees, can't get much better than this. Brings out a great crowd here today as well. T-shirt and shorts type weather. Heater gets by Johnson. 2-2 evens it up. Once section play starts, it will be double a limb from the get-go. Teams will find their fate as of Thursday, I believe, is kind of the league-wide section meetings as well. Fouled back once again by Johnson as he's battling against Lockemeyer. Two-two count, 1 down. Top of the 2nd. South Suburban Conference action. Got about, I'd say, 10 to 15 mile an hour wind southeast, which is basically going straight to left center. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High fastball. Full count. Fleek at second, reached on an air, took off on a pickoff throw, but evaded the tag at second from the relay from Fensky, the first baseman, the shortstop, Elias New. Lunenborg calling for it outside. Another high fastball. So 2nd walk of the inning for Lockemeyer. really, that's kind of been the one thing that's at times has kind of hurt Lockemeyer on the mound when he's been rolling is the walks. Came in today with 17 walks and 25 in the third innings. So an excellent strikeout rate, but almost creeping up to a walk per inning as well. Brody Stefani, the designated hitter today. He's DHing for the pitcher, Joe Stelzig. Fleek at second, Johnson at first. Prior Lake's first threat here today. One down. Top of the second inning here at Wildcat Park. Another fastball missing up. So I don't know if it's either a landing foot or just release point. But this inning so far, Lockemeyer has been missing up with his fastball. Needs the pitcher's best friend, the old double play grounder here. Two-hopper to the infield. Outfield playing straight up for the most part once again. Infield as well. Pickoff attempt. A little confusion whether that was going to be New or Eckerly taking that pickoff attempt, but luckily got a glove on it and it didn't sail into center field to advance Fleek to third. One-0 pitch. One down. To the designated hitter, Brody Stefani. Fastball swung on and missed. Stefani is a junior. As he settles in. Alrighty. And we are joined now. Let's see if we can get you. 1 second. We might have a little bit of sound action here for my cohort here. Okay, perfect. We'll get Jamie in here in a second. So 1-2 count, one out here. As Danny Lockemeyer is working back here, getting that fastball down back in the strike zone. Fleek at second, Johnson at first for Prior Lakes. Stefani at the plate. Lockemeyer still looking into Lunenborg. Here we come. Another fastball high as he misses. So the second inning, after cruising through the first inning, 8-pitch first inning, Lockemeyer with 2 walks and missing up high for his fastball. That's fine. I'm trying to get Jamie here settled in. You hear me yet, Jamie? Okay. We'll get him. We'll get him here in a second. We'll get our color man here in no time. 2-2 count. One down. Stefani at the plate, the designated hitter today. Fastball swung on and missed, so Lockemeyer now able to get his 3rd strikeout of today's game.
Now batting number 8, third baseman Jackson Barrett.
Jackson Barrett is going to step in. He's the third baseman today. 2 down now. You got Fleek at second. I think we're going to get a designated runner here with the catcher Fleek at second base, and that's going to be number 42, which is Dylan Moyers. Moyers now going to run for Fleek. He'll be at second, and we have Matt Johnson at first. 2 down, 2-0 is our score here at Wildcat Park. As we got Handyman Joe out here helping out. From Eagan TV, Mr. Do-It-All. Jackson Barrett, third baseman, will step in here. 2 down. Lockemeyer is getting settled back in.
All right, I think we got it figured out.
Now we're good. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
All right. Well, we're going to welcome in Jamie Eggleston. Jamie, it's our first time working together. How are we doing today?
Yes, I'm doing really well. I'm glad I made it out.
Good. And we can hear you now.
Yeah, fantastic.
And what we always say is it's good to hear us, not see us.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So you've obviously seen these guys throughout the years. So, and I know that you have a heavy pitching background, so we'll be getting your takes here today on Stelzig and Lockemeyer.
Yeah.
Lockemeyer with a really solid first inning. 2 pitches of the first batter, got a pop fly, 1 pitch ground out. I think it was a 3-pitch or 4-pitch strikeout. This inning, though, just missing high. So
yeah, exactly. That's Danny's thing is if he's throwing strikes, he's very difficult to hit.
Absolutely. And that's what I was kind of pointing out, too, as a former pitcher myself, actually still pitches. It was hard for me to figure out if it was a release point thing or maybe a landing foot thing that was catching that fastball to rise.
Yep.
I think if I remember correctly, he's primarily a fastball slider with a little bit of a changeup every once in a while.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So another fastball misses up high, 2-1 count. 2 down. Pinch runner for Fleek, the catcher, is the courtesy runner, is Dylan Moyers at second. Matt Johnson, the second baseman, is at first. Both runners reached on walks from Danny. Danny quickly has 3 strikeouts here early on here as well. But also this, unfortunately, now running that pitch count up a little bit the second inning.
Exactly.
And the beauty, as you know, with the new pitch count rules is the quicker you can have those innings, the better you can give yourself a chance, especially when you have your ace on the mound.
Exactly. Yeah, strikeouts look good, but that makes the count get up fast.
Yep, absolutely. So 3-1 here early on. That's going to bring out a first visit from pitching coach Luke Degremont. So, yeah, why don't you introduce yourself to all of our thousands of viewers today, your background. So I know you played some ball yourself.
Played some ball back in college at Clemson in the early 90s.
Okay.
About 5 years ago, started coaching college baseball at McAllister College.
Okay.
And then my oldest son, David, was a senior here last year.
Okay, yep, I remember David,
My second son, Christopher, is a senior on this team.
Okay.
It was my last run through with Eagan baseball.
Last run, all right. So, yeah, so you've obviously seen this group of probably juniors and seniors quite a bit between your 2 sons.
Right, quite a bit.
10, 11, 12 on the way up potentially,
well, and this is the crew that probably got hit the worst by COVID because they all lost their freshman year.
Yep.
Their sophomore year was half a season at best.
Yep.
And so they've had to work through that problem.
Yep, absolutely. I know, and obviously everybody thinks right away towards the seniors, which obviously you tip your hat to those, to the seniors, that any seniors, guys or girls, that both lost their spring athletics. But like you say too, it's the freshmen, it's the sophomores, it's the juniors that either A, it just was another year of development, or B, they might even been getting some varsity experience at that time.
Exactly,
too, right?
yeah. And it's so much tougher in high school because in college, I know our graduating class that we just left, they still have 2 years of college eligibility.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, you can't stick around 2 extra years in high school.
Exactly. So Stefani does get, that was Barrett. Barrett gets a walk, so the third walk of the inning for Lockemeyer. So Lockemeyer evened up with Ks and and walks at 3 apiece. We'll bring up the number 9 hitter, which is the center fielder, Noah Slates.
Infield, know all your options, communicate. Come on, Danny.
And when did the McAllister season end for you?
We ended about 10 days ago.
Okay, yep.
So the MIAC tournament was last weekend.
Okay. And where'd you guys come into the conference this year?
We were about the middle of the pack. We actually finished 500 on the nose.
Okay.
So we had a disappointing run, kind of the home stretch.
Sure.
Lost a few too many.
Lockemayer's first pitch, swung on, hit to center. It's going to be, if it's going to drop over Eckerly's head, it will actually. Rockford's going to come up. He's going to hose it down to second. That's going to bring in 2 runs to even it up. First pitch, swinging, first hit of the game, 2 runs on that RBI for Slates.
Right, and unfortunately there was 2 outs on that, so all the runners are going on contact.
And a good piece of hitting, right? I mean, I think most people would say after you've watched a pitcher struggle, if you're coming up next, be ready to swing at that first pitch fastball because it's more likely to be right over the plate.
Right.
So they're going to roll that lineup back over. We're going to have the left fielder, Nate Bodine, will step in. Bodine popped up to the shortstop, new his first appearance. So now we're going to have Barrett at third, Slates at first. Eagan successfully ran the first and third play in the bottom of the first, so we'll see what Prior Lake does as well. We've seen kind of a myriad of action already. We've already seen the first and third play work.
Right.
We've already seen Stelzig, the lefty, pick off New at first. And then at the top of this inning, Lockemeyer had Fleet picked off first, but the relay from Fensky to New wasn't in time, and he snuck in as you probably were walking up. drops in that slider for a strike to even up the count 1-1.
Yeah, it's nice to see these two lefties have such a good move to first base.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I was impressed too because Danny didn't bite into it. He waited and waited and waited, and he picked the perfect time when Fleek was taken out. The relay wasn't just missed. Ball's hit down line, but foul. So it'll be a 1-2 count here, 2 down. And I'm guessing you probably picked McAllister because they're the same colors for the most part as Clemson.
And they're right across the street from my house. That helps a lot too.
Go. Right.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of comments on how much orange I wear.
Right. Yeah. People probably think you're like the deer hunter of St. Paul.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, 1-2. Lockemeyer looking to try to get the boys back in the dugout for Eagan. Game's evened up at 2 on that big 2-out, 2 RBI hit by the center fielder North Slate. Pump fake by Lunenburg as Slates slides into second safely. So now for Eagan, the play will be set to first with a 2-2 count here and 2 outs. And I know that you aren't able to come to all the games. Obviously, with the college ball, you're potentially on the road or just practice run late. Been really impressed though with the way Danny's pitch. It's just like we were talking about earlier before you got on. It's just keeping that pitch count down and trying to stay away from walks, like as any pitcher wants.
Right. Yeah, way too many walks this inning.
Yeah. Fouled off as a home plate ump stood in there tough. That was a slider in. But yeah, I mean, averaging more than 1 strikeout in an inning, which is excellent, but getting close to 1 walk in an inning too as well. 2-0 in the season. This is Danny's 6th start of the season. And as I mentioned, I think I've witnessed at least 2 games at home that I think he was the pitcher of record, and then the game was lost after he left the game. Leadoff hitter is Nate Bodine, the left fielder. Bodine is a senior. Fastball misses up, so 3-2 count.
Now here with the base open, he can be a little creative on this pitch. It doesn't have to just be right down the middle.
Exactly, yep. Yeah, especially with the runners in scoring position. You want to throw a fastball right down the pipe, top of the lineup. He was able to get the Goldberg, the shortstop, on a grounder to second his first time up. Popped up behind us for a foul ball. Bodine doing a nice job here working the count here early on. What type of staff do you have at McAllister? Was it a combination of upperclassmen, underclassmen?
Yeah, we have about 40 kids technically on the roster.
Okay.
With about 36 being active and about pretty much average about 10 kids in each class.
Okay. Lunenburg unable to squeeze tight enough to keep that for strike 3. Foul tip pops out of his glove. So back-to-back foul tips here by Bodine.
I think the most interesting thing about our McAllister crowd is we have 1 kid from the state of Minnesota on the team,
wow,
which seems unbelievable. And he actually just graduated, so now we're back to 0.
Okay.
Doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But such a credited university.
Exactly.
That I can see how you're going to be pulling in from all over,
right,
which is maybe a little bit different than your, I don't know, Carleton also is an accredited university, but from
like
other MIAC
schools.
schools, right? Exactly. Yeah, and they tend to have like their the recruiting pipelines kind of already set too, between whether it's areas or high schools that they're always checking in on.
Very much so.
3-2 count, 2 down. Left fielder Bodine at the plate, Lockemeyer on the mound. Barrett on third, Slates on second.
Uh-oh.
That one jacked up to left. Will it stay fair? And it's gonna be foul. I think it was foul. I think we had a pretty good angle for it. It hung up there, but I think by the time it just got up to that wall, I think it just went foul by about a couple feet, right?
And a little difficult to tell how high it was over the top of the bar, but yeah, it definitely looked like it had hooked foul.
Yeah. Well, and when we did the weather earlier, it was 82 degrees. It said it was 9 miles an hour, southeast.
Okay.
But I feel like since the game's started up, I mean, most times I'm out here, it's anywhere between 10 to 20 miles an hour out to left, right?
Yeah, there's always a breeze
There's always a breeze out here, and usually it's going out to left field. So it just depends on when you can take advantage of it. And obviously, Bodine was looking to do so right there. So Lockemeyer wipes off the brow and brushes that one off. Just a long fly ball in the books for us pitchers. Now the payoff pitch. Looking for a high fastball potentially. Foul back again. So excellent job by Bodie. That's 4 straight pitches that he's fouled off.
This is a strong at bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Lockemeyer's had to throw a lot of pitches the way it is this inning. Eagan out hitting the Lakers here early on 3-1. But the Lakers had that big 2-out single by Jackson Barrett to bring in 2 runs. Yeah, like you said, I mean, with first base open, it could be an off-speed time now.
Yeah.
Fastball outside corner just misses up.
How do you lay off that with 2 strikes?
I know, right, absolutely. I was just going to say. Just up, it looks like a little bit. So I think it caught the corner, but was a little bit up.
Yep.
But yeah, excellent piece of hitting. And then also a good job by Danny, though, not, giving in to throw another, fastball or a slider right over the plate, right? Jackson Goldberg, the shortstop, settles in. Now bases are loaded. Force anywhere. 2 down, 2-2 score. See if Lockemeyer can get up early in the count here. I believe I've seen 7 lefties from Prior Lake. And Eagan's, I think, sent 4 today up against their lefty Stelzig. Now you have to remind me, Chris, is he set already for college?
Yeah, Chris,
he's
going to the University of Tennessee.
Tennessee, that's right, yep. I remember reading that off for senior night, but you don't always remember exactly where everybody's set to go. What sparked the interest in Tennessee
for
his son?
Both of my boys grew up college football fans.
Yep.
That was the proof that I am actually their father. And David obviously went to Clemson because that's all he ever watched his whole life. And then Christopher wanted to go to a big football school but didn't want to follow his brother to Clemson.
Sure. Understandable. Well, that's good for the parents. You guys have good places to visit, especially in the wintertime, right? And obviously football season, too. 0-1 pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Right at the knees, inside. Nice pitch there by Lockemeyer. So now, 1-2. So now Danny's up in the count. Doesn't have to necessarily throw his best stuff. See if he can catch Goldberg to chase here, especially on a lefty-lefty matchup. I'm going to guess he's going to try to throw a fastball outside here. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, see if he can get him to chase one.
Yeah, exactly. Or just catch one in the outside corner. Yeah, nice piece of hitting there by Goldberg. Well, I won't bring up too much about Notre Dame versus Clemson in football because I think you guys' record is still about 3 to our 1, I think.
Yeah, we're still pretty confident that
Yeah.
we get them at home this year.
You do, absolutely. The epic game, what was it, a couple years ago at home but Trevor Lawrence was out. That was an epic game.
That was at Notre Dame.
That was
Notre Dame. That was at Notre Dame.
Yep.
The double overtime.
And then we played, and you guys mashed on us in the ACC championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence made everything look easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, 1-2 count to Goldberg. Another nice job fouling it off. But Prior Lake definitely making Lockemeyer work, and that started from Fleek, the number 4 hitter. So little action down in the Eagan bullpen. You got Luke Roiger, kind of everyday lefty, is getting loose. Luke's already pitched in 8 games this season. We'll get to his stats if he comes in a little bit later. I'm sure just want to get him ready. There's that strike 3 on that curveball for an excellent pitch to get out of the inning and dodge a potential big inning. So for the Lakers, they get 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, but 3 left on. It's all even up at 2. We'll be back in 60 seconds at Wildcat Park for the bottom of the 2nd inning. righty, back here for the bottom of the second inning as the starting pitcher, Joe Stelzig, had to sit on the bench for a little while there and catch a breath maybe from that first inning. So we'll see how he comes out. It's always kind of that, as you know too, Jamie, and I'm joined again by Jamie Eggleston as my play-by-play guy. As you always know too, it's those long innings that sometimes, great for the offense, but bad for the defense and bad for the pitcher, right?
I know as a pitcher, I always hated sitting in the dugout for a long period of time. Once you got me about a 2-run lead, I'm good. Let's just keep the game
just
going.
keep it going. Just keep adding 1 or 2 every inning, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It sometimes can work in their favor too, right? If a pitcher's a little erratic one inning, they might need a little bit more of a break just to calm down, talk to the catcher, pitching coach.
Yeah, I would imagine Danny could use Eagan getting a couple hits here.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Let him catch his breath.
Oh, Stelzig's got good stuff too, so you'll be impressed. I mean, strong base, strong kid, long legs. Seems like he's got some decent heat on his fastball. So, freshman catcher is Brandon Lundenborg. He steps back in. He was the batter at the time when Elias New was picked off first, so he'll now lead off this inning. Brandon hitting .261 on the team, which is second on the team, .404 on base percentage, 3 doubles. And he's second on the team in RBIs with 10. Fastball up. For the most part, I think, and you'll probably be able to catch the pitches and the grips maybe a little bit better than I, but what I've seen, I think, is kind of just kind of the common fastball slider, fastball curve.
Okay.
Early on. I haven't seen anything funky. No knuckles or splitters yet. Hits the dirt. Quickly 2-0 count. I don't know if I've seen a high schooler throw a knuckleball in the 6 years that I've been around Eagan baseball.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it has to be really good, right? Or that would have to be like your changeup pitch, just every once in a while catch somebody.
I
off
always
guard.
said you're either born with a knuckleball or you're not. You can't learn it.
Yeah. Nope. Gets a fastball in there for a strike to make it 2-1 here to Lundenborg, catcher. Wind shifted a little bit, now kind of going straight out to left center as far as not crossing across the left field. Big swing on off speed. Even it up at 2-0. So let's see, when Chris was, when both your sons were growing up, were you tasked to do a lot of the coaching as well on the youth side, or were you more of being able to kind of do hands off and enjoying watching as a fan?
No, I coached both of them pretty much their whole lives up until high school.
Okay.
And so I was always coaching two teams every year. So summers were very busy.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that too. I come from a player coach family as well. 3-2 count. And I think a lot of times the kids understand, they understand pretty quick that the parents are just going to naturally be maybe either a little higher expectation, not necessarily on play, but just overall how they act, right?
Right.
As Stelzig's now going to send Lundenborg. Yeah, fastball just missed out.
That was a gutsy take.
Yeah. So first walk of the game for Stelzig. And they're going to send out the new guy, Eddie Moore, just got called up today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so Eddie's going to do a little courtesy running for the catcher. So I don't know if Coach Butler's been, checking his 60 or 40 times maybe, and that would brought him up, but
we'll see if he steals on the first pitch.
Right. The interesting thing is since Eagan does the wristbands, so a new kid, you got to kind of try to get that.
Yeah, I noticed the coach was kind of walking him through it over there.
Absolutely. Got to get that incorporated pretty quick. So second baseman is Ryan Eckerly. Showed bunt here on the first pitch. I think one thing that you've obviously noticed with Eagan is just no matter which team they put on the field is once they're on base, they're definitely going to try to play aggressive baseball.
Yeah, he definitely likes to move them up. He likes to play a lot of small ball.
Yep, put him in motion. Yeah, perfectly timed hit and run in the first inning with David Rockford stealing second and Griffin Fensky just going with the pitch on a base hit to right field. So Eddie Moore at first.
Oh, he got him.
He
Oh.
was saved.
Wow.
Saved by a ball in the dirt. Yeah, Stelzig's got a great move.
Yeah, any kind of throw that the first baseman could catch, and that was no doubt on that one.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, Stelzig just kind of one-hop Sprecher. If he would have fielded it cleanly, he might have still been able to get that tag in, too. And I'm sure Moore's probably a little nervous. That's natural. First game up on varsity, and you get thrown in the bottom of the second. 1-1 count. The second baseman, Ryan Eckerly. Lefty-lefty matchup. Fastball's up and misses.
Ryan, make sure the head gets out. Big hole over there. That's the thing right there, right? 0-1-2.
Prior Lake, I mentioned this earlier, but graduated 16 seniors last year, so kind of a whole new team for Coach Iverson this year. So a lot of these guys are gaining experience, obviously, as the year goes on. Hot shot up the middle, but will be fielded by Goldberg. Nice play by getting a foot on the base and the relay in time for a unassisted 6-3 double play.
Just hit that one to the wrong spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's quick enough to get there, and then, and the ball never carried him more to his left. Right. That's how he's able to kind of get his plant foot, basically just kind of throw straight off to second base.
He played it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that wipes out Lunenburg's walk. And we're going to see the designated hitter now is Joe Anderson, Jr. Joe's got a triple on the season, 2 stolen bases, so a threat to run as well. Crushed on first pitch, hit to center field. Slates takes a couple steps back and will make the grab. So Eagan in the bottom of the second, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left down. Back in 60 seconds at Wildcat Park. 2-2 game for the top of the third.
Done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
All right, back here we got Credence in the background going. We got Jack Essler up there on the DJ getting all the baseball tunes out today. So it's 2-2's our score, top of the third. 2 runs in the bottom of the first by Eagan, and then met by Prior Lake on a big 2-out RBI single with bases loaded by Jackson Barrett. So, number 3 hitter will be coming up. It's Hayden Anthony. He's the right fielder today. He struck out his first time up. Lockemeyer settling in. I'm Casey Lux here today, joined by Jamie Eggleston. We're getting his debut of play-by-play today. Big swing on that change up outside.
All right, let's see if Danny will work ahead this inning.
Absolutely. Yeah, work ahead so that way you can use that high fastball to your liking, right, on a 1-2 or 0-2 pitch. Hot shot, hit to Newt, 3-hopper. Fielded it in time, tag not there. I don't even know if Griffin actually would have gotten the tag on him.
I don't believe he got him.
Yeah. It looked like that ball just kind of came up out of his, once he fielded it, he didn't get a good grip on it for Elias. So Danny does his job by coaxing a ground ball to short, but it ends up in an air. And then now we're going to see the number 4 hitter, which is the catcher, Linus Fleek. Fleek reached on a walk, was designated run for, courtesy ran for, but his at bat did come around to score the first run of the game, excuse me. Shows bunt, curveball misses.
So both teams use the numbering signal system.
Yeah. Have you seen that on the MIAC level yet?
I have not. No.
Okay. I've heard that some of the colleges were starting to use it maybe in the last year or two. I think, obviously the worry, right? Everybody always gets so paranoid about getting their signs caught at third. And I also realize that when you have a numbering system, that also opens up your book to more action plays, right?
Sure,
Whether it's,
sure.
Designating something different between a steal and a delayed steal instead of having to do a different sign for it, right? But yeah, I'm interested to kind of see how this goes if this becomes the norm of, how you do signs. Fleek offers, misses, 1-1 count on that fastball low.
So they're trying to move him up here in the third inning.
Yeah.
Feels a little early.
Absolutely. And it's, rare to see your four-hitter, anything in your middle lineup, even Drake, put down a sacrifice bunt. So Hughes been playing up on the grass to try to take away that bunt. Fleek, the hitter, Anthony, the right fielder, at first on that reach on that air. Nice block by Lunenburg, the catcher, keeping in front. 2-1 count. Great crowd here today. Might be one of the bigger crowds of the year. I think they came to see you maybe on the.
They need to stay home if they want to hear me.
Right. Fouled off by Fleek, so now it'll be 2-2 count. Eagan trying to coax a double play ball here to erase that air in the top. Excellent crowd. And we got another home game coming up on Wednesday as Eastfield will be traveling. The short travel over to Wildcat Park. The final game of the South Suburban Conference. Seeding meeting then will be on Thursday. And then Eagan will know where they're traveling to for the first game of the playoffs. But like I kind of mentioned earlier, this is a big week, whether it's, for every team, because this is kind of getting your rotation set up as that off-speed misses, getting the rotation set up for playoffs, good habits for playoffs, right? Try to get some of your hitters maybe hot going into the playoffs. Not even just the seedings or the conference, jockeying and the standings, right? It's also about just playing clean and good baseball to kind of play your optimal best ball come playoff time.
You want to get hot at the right time.
Exactly. Hot shot out to left. Gage has got to run on it, but that's going to get off the wall. It's going to get by Gage. They're going to hold Anthony at third. So a big two-strike double off the left field wall by the catcher Fleek, as they now have runners on. They have Fleek at second, Anthony at third with nobody out. And that's kind of the thing too, right? As a lefty today, when you know that the wind's going out and it's short to left, you can kind of let it travel in and just, go with the pitch as opposed to trying to turn everything over. So now they're going to bring in Dylan Moyers again here to courtesy run for Fleek.
I believe we are now in the delay to try to get our pitcher warmed up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
His pitch count has to be getting pretty high.
Yeah. Well, and I would also think that, the plan is for Danny probably to start game one of the playoffs, right?
Yep,
so
sure.
In a perfect setting, it would have been a low pitch count and have him go 5 and fly, or maybe even get into the 6, but Luke Reuger's still getting loose. And they'll be able to stretch Luke out. Luke will probably be able to go out 3 innings if needed. Nice off speed in there in the inside corner to the first baseman, Cole Sprecher. Lockemeyer evened up with 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, giving up now 2 hits and 2 runs. Hot shot down the line. Might have caught.
I think it got him in the ankle, which is why you get your lead in foul territory on third base.
Yeah, Anthony caught. That was a hot shot. You just have so little reaction time.
Right.
Especially down the lines like that. But looks like Anthony's okay. Moyers running for the catcher Fleek, who had the 3-2 pitch double off the base of the green wall out and left. Little sprinkler to first. That's going to be unassisted out, fielded by Fensky for the first out of the inning. But that will bring in Anthony for the third run of the game.
Number 4, the second baseman, Matt Johnson.
Matt Johnson, second baseman, will settle in. He reached on a walk in the second inning and then also came around to score. Moyer moves over from second to third. And that little cue ball to first. But hey, RBI is an RBI. It doesn't matter what it looks like, right?
Sometimes hitting it slow enough works.
Absolutely. And on the right side, too. One down here. Top of the third, 3-2. Prior Lake Lakers leading Eagan. Fastball in there for a strike. And everybody knows, you know, the statistics of the first pitch strikes, you know, and it's just, you really notice guys when they're in the groove. Fly ball hit out to right. Rockford's got a beat on it, makes the catch. They're going to fake a take from Moyers. Hot shot with a strong arm by Rockford. Going to hold the runner at third. So not only an excellent job by Rockford to get over to get that play, but also get behind the ball with a strong throw down the line.
Yeah, no hesitation on the throw. Get it in quick.
It wasn't hit super deep, but still. You know, because he also risks a bad hop, and then all of a sudden it goes up the line. He still doesn't score the run. The designated hitter, Brody Stefani, now batting. Reached on a walk last inning as well. But yeah, I mean, you really can tell, obviously, the pitchers that are in a groove as it's just, you know, first pitch strike, and then they're able to use their arsenal so much better, right?
Yeah.
Excellent curveball swung on strike. Moyer thought about coming home. Stays at third. Actually, Stefani struck out looking last inning. Hitting for the pitcher Stelzig today. Fastball outside corner. Catches the black for a strike. 1-2 count, 2 down. Top of the third. 3-2 score. Prior Lake leading early on here. It's a home Eagan Wildcats. Luke Roeger still loosens up in the pen, as I'm guessing Eagan's hoping to get Lockemeyer through the third.
Again, how do you take that pitch with 2 strikes?
Yeah.
That was a perfect spot.
Right there. Okay. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Looking for a fastball low. Hit on to center.
Right
Anderson's got a beat on it. Can of corn makes the catch. But in the top of the third, the Lakers get 1 run on 1 hit. They're on 1 air with 1 left on. Our score is 3-2. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the third inning here at Wildcat Park.
Hey, we should volunteer for this.
I wish I had time.
Scrolling all day, time can disappear. Wanna make it count, why not volunteer?
Posting pics of your food, that takes up time. Maybe just eat me, I don't really mind.
Time, you've got time. As your reflection, it's my duty to say.
Time, I've got time.
All my pics are the same.
I am some eggs.
10 hours a week deciding where to go eat.
Well, where do you want to eat? Maybe let's not go out to eat.
You paint your walls from cream to white, and from white to cream, then back to white.
Time, you've got time to binge all of season 9, though it got so bad.
Time, you've got time. We're gonna grow back and be the same brows you had.
Time, you got time.
Listen to my plea as I harmonize.
Time, you've got time.
Zooba-doo-bop, wow.
Just a few hours to keep families from harm. Help us end home fires with Sound the Alarm.
Volunteer for a day to install free smoke alarms in your community.
Okay, back here. Casey Lux once again joined by Jamie Eggleston. 3-2 game. Prior Lakes put up 2 in the top of the second and 1 in the third. Now Eagan will come to the plate as they're going to try to get back to the top of the lineup, as we're going to see the number 9 hitter, Tate Gage, the left fielder, is going to step in. Tate, sophomore, on-base percentage of .353. He's got a double on the year, 4 stolen bases, 4 runs. So another one of those Eagan hitters, as you know, Jamie, that the speed. So once on base, typically good things will happen.
Umpires got into a big discussion there. Not sure what that was about.
Yeah.
Don't want to have to wait on them to get the game moving.
No. Well, first pitch was 4:39. I think that was due to the umps taking their time here today. It was also after a long Star-Spangled Banner banner by Leanne Rhymes. She really likes to draw out those words. It's the long version, I think. I don't think the boys want the long version. I think they want to just play ball.
Well, I think just in general, anything that makes a baseball game even longer should be outlawed.
Right.
I think we can toss out the 7th inning stretch, too. I'll be fine with that.
And Major League's done a good job of that, right?
The games have been so much better this year.
Nope, absolutely. I mean, even the simplest of, only being able to throw over to first twice.
Right.
Just because, as you know, I mean, there'd be those games you'd be sitting there watching, and every other pitch they'd throw over.
Right, yeah.
They'd throw 5 pitches to first and 7 pitches to the batter, and before you know it, it's a 5-minute at-bat. 2-1 count to Gage, ball's low from Stelzig.
And the good thing is after about a year or two of everybody adjusting, it's just going to become normal for baseball to be much faster.
Yeah. Have you heard on the college level if any of those will be implemented in the future?
It is implemented.
Oh, it is already.
We had to go through a number of videos explaining the rules.
Okay.
The problem with the MIAC is the umpire in the field is allegedly looking at a stopwatch.
Okay.
And I don't think I saw a stopwatch in their hand all year.
Yeah.
So we had one time a pitcher got called an automatic ball because he had done something twice that he couldn't do.
Okay.
And that was the only time I saw it implemented. But everybody did move faster.
So I'm sure it'll just take a little time to get the technology up, right, to have the pitch count, the batter, up and running.
And it really only affects a small percentage of people who are just way too slow.
Yep. I thought it was started in college this year. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a yearly implementation. I'm interested to see if when or if either all of the changes or if a few of them will come down to high school as well.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't know if they'll do the bigger bases. I don't know if they will need to add that aspect.
I wouldn't think so.
But, you don't see a lot of shifting in high school, but Eagan will shift from time to time, But, yeah, I think maybe the pitch clock would be probably the one that they would bring down to high school as well.
Yeah, I would wonder how they enforce it is the problem.
Yes, absolutely. I know.
Somebody's got to have an eye on it.
And the tough thing is, too, is it's hard to force, whether it's big high schools or small high schools, to get all the technology in place to, set it up to the scoreboard or whatever, right? But I know, as far as in basketball, I think the shot clock's finally coming into play for high school this year. So, Stelzig, another throw over. But nice job by Gage. They're not getting too much of a dirt there for a lead. Center fielder is the senior George Anderson, the speedster, as we said, 17 runs on the year, 12 stolen bases. On base of 393. Tends to be good things happen when George is getting on the base.
Definitely.
And typically that's always for all leadoffs, I get it, but a guy of George's ilk with his speed and his experience, you tend to find him, sometimes within 3 pitches, steals second, steals third.
Yeah, he likes to make things happen.
Yep. So 2-1 count from Stelzig to Anderson. Gage off and running on a hit and run, fouled off. So 2-2 will be evened up here for our count. 4 stolen bases on the season for Gage.
4-12, win pitches, Gio. Get started early, win pitches. Yep.
And Prior Lake got the scouting report on George as well, because right away to start the first inning, they were playing up on the grass. So they know that he's a drag threat. Stelzig, heater, down the line, foul. Ooh. Just missed that corner of the base. As Sprecher was spraying over there to try to keep it in fair territory, get a quick out. Two-two count. leadoff hitter, center fielder George Anderson at the plate. Tate Gage with the walk. And that was the second walk by Stelzig here today. Ducks away from a high fastball. Full count.
This will be interesting to see if they try to get the runner moving with a full count.
Yeah.
Make something happen.
Yep, absolutely.
See if they'll throw over.
This looks like they've taken, nope, they haven't. Little infield pop-up over to Barrett at third, caught in foul territory. But I also noticed, too, is I think the message was relayed down to not take too big of leads at first right now with Stelzig on the mound.
You definitely don't want to give him any more free outs.
No. So senior third baseman Will Huseman will step in. Will set to play at Concordia St. Paul next season. I know my former coach, Coach Neil Lerner, is excited to have him on board. Another lefty-lefty matchup here. Throw over from Stelzig. Looked like that was his other move. That one was like a little bit more of a rush leg kick.
Yeah, that was definitely a different look.
Yeah. The beauty of being a lefty, though, right?
Exactly.
Heater swung on and fouled back.
The best move I ever saw by a left-handed pitcher was from a 14-year-old kid that I saw at a camp I was working. And he had ability to take his knee behind the rubber, but his foot never went over.
Okay,
so
sure.
as he came forward with his knee, it looked like he was going home, but still had room to throw over.
Yep.
I've tried to teach it to people my whole life, but I can't seem to teach it. This kid had some crazy gift.
I had a good buddy of mine back in the day when he was a center fielder, but he pitched a little bit. Ooh.
There we
Close
go.
play, and Gage is going to take off for second. No throw from Sprecher, so that one gets past Sprecher. But yeah, he back in the day when my good buddy Mike Portner would pitch, I felt like he would sometimes walk the good hitters and then just pick them off at first once they got out because he was a lefty.
It's a gutsy strategy.
It is a gutsy strategy. It tended to work, though. It worked for us, at least.
9:14. Come on, Will, let's go. Be on time.
But yeah, I always find that, so interesting, how as far as left-handed pitching versus right-handed pitching, pros will draft a guy that throws mid-80s that's a lefty, over a righty that throws, 93, 94, right? Because they know two things. One is they can build up that velocity. Two is just the fact of them being able to hold the running game at first is so much huger than having another righty in your pen, right?
Yeah, and there was a motto when I was playing that if you're left-handed and you have a pulse, then you have a chance.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, definitely a commodity. So such a high value. Ooh, a little hit and run action. Big hop to Sprecher.
Very nice.
Huseman is going to be able to beat it, and then they're just going to keep waving Gage home for the third run. So once again, now we do see Eagan getting aggressive on the base pass.
Yeah, no hesitation at all coming around third there.
Absolutely. A tough hop for Sprecher, and honestly, even if Sprecher fields it cleanly, Huseman might have beaten Stelzig over to the base anyways. But by not fielding it cleanly, they're able just to keep Gage running home and score that third run. And that's something that, you see the good teams do and take advantage of, is on those type of plays right there where there's, one out or less, you got a guy on second to potentially have him score all the way from second on even a ground ball to the infield, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Or a bunt or whatever. I mean, just keep them coming around, have the mindset that when you're coming to third that you're going to round hard and score.
Yeah, they definitely have an aggressive style.
So the second error of the game for Prior Lake. Stelzig still only giving up 3 hits. Still looking for his first strikeout here today. Right fielder David Rockford will step in. Had a smooth single. And Huseman is going to slide into second safely for his 5th stolen base of the year. Little fake bunt steal, huh?
Yeah, something didn't look right in all of that.
Yeah. For a second there, too, it looked like there was maybe some confusion as to who was covering the base, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I kind of noticed, too. But, yeah, Rockford line drive single over the jumping shortstop Goldberg out to left center gap for a single, and that started the rally for Eagan in the bottom of the 2nd. So quickly 0-2, but Huseman at second in scoring position with their team's RBI leader Griffin Fensky on deck. And Stelzig gets his first strikeout, and a big strikeout there by sending Rockford down on 3 straight pitches. So Griffin Fensky, the first baseman, will step in. As we mentioned, leads the team in RBIs at 15, 3 home runs. So, you know, he enjoys coming into the home ballpark when the wind's blowing out to left.
Definitely, yeah. He can get the ball up in the air. That was a big out there. We had a potential of a big rally here, and that might have slowed it down.
Yep. Fensky set to play college ball next year at Iowa Wesleyan. Well, it's either I was told Iowa Central at the beginning of the year. The program says Iowa Wesleyan, so we know he's playing in Iowa.
I believe I've always heard Iowa Wesleyan.
Okay, and maybe it was just all me. I'll take the blame of saying Iowa Central. I might have just made up a college by saying Iowa Central. Who knows?
What city would Iowa Central be in?
I have no idea. I don't know Iowa.
Let's just say Des Moines.
Yeah, right.
Make them prove us wrong.
Exactly. Fensky 3 home runs on the year. Big swing, fouls it off. And he's been used to being pitched around and hasn't seen a whole lot of fastballs throughout the season. Griffin played all last year, then played quite a bit actually as a sophomore as well. So yeah, you've seen him for a couple years now.
Yeah, he was a big contributor last year.
Yep. Peter misses up. Yeah, last year he was called upon to be the kind of the mainstay catcher.
Yep.
2 years ago, he was a little bit between DH first and right field more so. I remember him as a sophomore. Luke Roeger still getting loose in the Eagan bullpen. So that could be a sign that he's going to come in to start the 4th. I would think they'd want him to come in for a clean inning. 2-1 count, 2 down. Eagan tied it up on that error by Sprecher on the funky spin from Huseman's grounder.
That was a big swing by Griffin on that one.
Yeah. He doesn't get cheated very often, I will say that.
I think he wants that one back, too.
Stelzig, a senior for Pryor. But basically, Pryor came into this year with about 7 new starters. So, curveball misses out. 3-2 count, 2 down. Huseman at second. 3-3 game. Bottom of the 3rd. We were cruising in the 1st, and then it's slowed down a little bit.
It has definitely slowed down.
But when the pitchers are, you know, not in the zone but around the zone, you tip your hat to the hitters for being choosy. Curveball just misses up. Stelzig wanted it. He's getting ready to go to the dugout, and that's going to be his 3rd walk of today as Fensky's going to reach first.
I'm wondering if the catcher thought that was strike 3 because he had no interest in throwing to the runner,
Yeah.
throwing at the runner on 3rd.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't even see Huseman take off on that. I think that was kind of that same pitch that Lockemeyer missed early, you know, from the lefty, the outside corner that's up a little bit.
Yep.
It is kind of interesting. I've kind of noticed it too, whether it be in high school and even like I had a town ball game yesterday. Is kind of the range of that high strike where, some umps will give kind of that letters.
Yep.
And others will kind of drop it, 6 inches or so below and won't give you that high strike. I don't think that that's something that was, talked about in the offseason, that we need to kind of shorten the zone. It still seems to live at the knees, but you don't always get that high strike.
Right.
Which you don't really want to live up there, right? But at the same time,
you definitely don't. And
but on a 1-2, if you can hit an outside high fastball.
And it's also with the new science of catching, you're getting a lot of the low calls.
Another first and third play, and that's going to bring Huseman in without, and a take gets him.
I think a slide might have helped there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of surprised that he didn't go down. That was kind of bang, bang. Even though it was in front of us, it was hard to see that he got him right before his foot.
Yeah,
but
it's
in
almost
all
like
sense,
he ran into the catcher's glove. If
exactly.
He just slides.
Exactly. So Eagan gets 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error, and there was 1 left on. 3-3. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the top of the 4th.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches? Ready? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Welcome back to Wildcat Park. Top of the 4th inning. I have a new pitcher here. Luke Roiger comes in on the season. He says he's 8 games, so this will be his 9th outing. 16 and 3rd innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 11 strikeouts, so only 5 walks, and a tightly very low 1.71 ERA with only one save as well. So they tend to go to Fensky as their closer, but Roiger obviously shown that he can do it as well. I've been really impressed with Luke this year.
Luke's been very dependable all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive.
Tends to get ahead of pitcher, get ahead of the hitters, and he's kind of got that big sweeping curveball, from a lefty that tends to play well and get him a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, he's always around the strike zone. I would describe him as a pitcher I can trust.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's exactly it, right? I mean, you tend to see Coach Butler and pitching coach Luke Degermont tend to go to him, usually first relief or especially in tight situations. So Roiger will be facing 8-9 top. But the hitters that were hot for Prior Lake in Barrett and Slates. So Jackson Barrett's going to step in, the third baseman. And as we mentioned before, Barrett had that big 2-out, 2 RBI single at the time to tie it up in the top of the 2nd. Lockenmeyer's book is closed. 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 4 Ks, and 3 walks. I guess I could have asked the coaching staff if there was a designated pitch limit for Danny today.
Yeah, I'd be curious what his final count was.
Yeah. Barrett tries to drop down, drag bunt, that goes foul, so Roiger quickly up 0-1. Now you have to remind me, will they start playoffs on Friday or will it be like Memorial Day? Because I know seedings is Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's coming up next week.
Yeah, okay. Another foul ball down left field line by Barrett. I know a few years ago they did play, when they hosted a playoff game, it was Monday, like a 5 o'clock on Memorial Day.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll do that this year, but it just happened that year, which is really rare. It was really rare to be at like a high school game on Memorial Day.
Yeah. It is rare.
0-2 pitch. Changeup fouled away. So Royger's kind of showing him all of his pitches here early on. Went fastball, curve, and then changeup. (3-3) score. Eagan out hitting the Lakers 3-2 early on. Hit up high and deep. Will it stay in the park? Off the top of the wall. Gage is going to field it. It'll be a leadoff double for Barrett. You don't want to go into that home run call too early, especially with that big wall out there.
Right.
We gotta be better at it.
Yeah, that was definitely one where it didn't look like he got all of it, but he just hit it straight up in the air, and this wind just carried it.
Yep. I know for a few seconds there, I thought there was a chance that Gage was going to, still catch that on the warning track, but that thing still hit from, I don't know, almost like 5 feet short of the top of the fence. As Royger hung a curveball there to Barrett. So then Barrett's number 8 here, number 9 here is Noah Slates, the center fielder. So we'll see what Prior Lake plans to do here, if they're going to try to bunt him over or let him swing away. Fastball misses low and out. And actually the other day, I forget which team it was, they did a number system to the pitcher.
Oh, really?
Which that was brand new to me. Because he had a black wristband on. They're going to send Barrett, throw down by Lunenburg, not in time. They're going to bring in Barrett. So Barrett's going to manufacture a run all by himself there here in the 4th. Leadoff double, steals third, comes into third, and comes in to score on the errant throw by Lunenburg. Looks like Brandon might just rush that throw there. Maybe didn't get the best grip on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I was really surprised he had a black wristband on it was a lefty, so on his right arm. And then all of a sudden I noticed, and I think they actually had once or twice the home plate umpire had to go out there and tell him to pause, because, you know what I mean? Because he'd see the sign and then just want to pitch right away.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. I was watching a college game the other day, and clearly they're using electronic stuff because the catcher's not even putting fingers down. But I feel like it messes up the rhythm of a pitcher. You kind of like to go through a few signs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it probably benefits the guys that don't shake off much, and that just grab the ball and throw.
Yes, take a deep breath.
Pop straight up behind the plate.
Yes,
Lunenburg.
Say that batter needs to run. That ball's going to drift back into fair territory.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I also kind of thought maybe Royger or Huseman would come in too to potentially help, Lunenburg out, or if it pops out of his glove, to be there to catch it.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that electronic will definitely work on the guys that don't like to shake off a lot, right, and just like to get the ball and pitch quick. But I know what you're saying. It does slow down the rhythm of a pitcher on the mound. Another pop-up, so 2 straight pitches, 2 pop-ups. New's going to call off Royger. Royger wanted to catch it. Let the pitchers be athletes. I know they always say, though, if they're on the mound, you'd rather have somebody coming in to grab it than have a pitcher drift backwards and trip over the rubber.
Well,
right?
He's still young. He doesn't know better. He needs to just get himself out of the way, try not to hurt himself.
Exactly. So that was the leadoff hitter, Nate Bodine. This is the shortstop, Jackson Goldberg. Curveball in the inside corner for a strike. So Royger finding the zone here after actually was finding the zone right away from the start. It was just a nice piece of hitting by Barrett when he went off the wall.
Yep.
Curveball misses in. 1-1 count. Prior Lake took the lead here in the top of the 4th. Leadoff double by Barrett. Stole third, came in from third to score on the wild throw from Lunenburg, the catcher, as he was attempting to take third base. Ripped down the right field line, but foul. One-two count, 2 outs. What's the pitching coach calling here? Fastball out, fastball high.
I'd give him a breaking ball in the dirt, see if he'll chase one.
Yeah, nobody on? Absolutely. They would change up.
Definitely with lefty on lefty, get him to chase something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no harm in spiking one with nobody on base. 2-2, 2 outs. Big curve in there for a strike as Roeger gets his first strikeout of the game. So Prior Lake does get 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and nobody left on. They take the lead 4-3 as we go into the bottom of the 4th. Back in 60 seconds here at Wildcat Park.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
As Eagan's going to be coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-3 game. Casey Lux joined by my color man, Jamie Eggleston, pitching coach for McAllister, former pitcher himself. So what besides Clemson back in the day, what were some of the other schools you were looking at?
Clemson was the only big school.
Sure.
I was looking at Wofford, a couple small colleges around the Carolinas, UNC Charlotte.
Did you grow up down that way?
I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, up until 1998, I was always in South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, you get a little longer baseball season down there.
It really is interesting, especially with the high school season here, that is so incredibly short, especially in a spring that we just had where weather just pushed everything back, and now we're playing all the games over about a 3-week stretch.
Yeah, I know. And when they had to move they moved that first week of the season and sprinkled it in, and started a week later. It is amazing that they only really had 1 rain out.
Yeah, good point.
But at the same time, what's not amazing is that I think the first 6 home games here were like 45 degrees, and by the time you got to the 6th inning, the sun was going down, and it felt like it was 35. So.
Yep. They definitely played Grand Rapids in about 38 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds.
That one was tough. That was Grand Rapids' 2nd day outside. They had 1 practice outside before that.
That's tough.
Yeah. Elias New steps in, the shortstop. Stelzig still on the mound. We do have a little bit of action in the Prior Lake bullpen now. Stelzig quickly working 0-2 to Elias New. But yeah, no, I always feel for, you feel for not even just the baseball players, right? Anybody playing spring athletics in Minnesota. It's just always a wild card as to when you're going to first get outside and then what the weather's going to be like.
I really wish the high school league would allow them to do something with the fall.
Yeah.
September's the best month of the year in Minnesota, and you can't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Down goes the scoreboard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even if you could play some inner squad, or the guys that aren't, the guys or gals that aren't playing a spring sport, right? That they could play their spring sport, maybe even get a month worth in. I don't think they'd ever have like a conference games, but you might be able to play some exhibitions and stuff like that, right? Test out some rotation, get some arms ready. See what you got. 2-2 count to Elias New. Curveball misses out.
When it's not like the kids aren't playing, most of them are in some type of a fall league.
Yes.
It's just disappointing they're not allowed to be with their high schools. Let's maximize their time with the coaches, not limit it.
Absolutely. Elias picked up his 3rd RBI of the season in the bottom of the 1st. Fastball swung on, hit up the middle. Will it get past Goldberg? And it does. I think that's going to be marked down as an infield hit.
We'll see how generous they are up there.
Wow. Depends on who's doing the book or
I
doing
know.
the scoreboard, and I think it's on the Eagan side. Well, they're going to give it an air. I think even if he fields it cleanly, I don't think the ball was hit too soft. I think, Elias is still going to beat it out.
It would definitely be a bang-bang play.
Yeah, it's going to be a hit in my book. And, and the other thing, too, as we see the freshman catcher, Brandon Lundenborg, step in, the other thing, too, is, there's always been that talk, too, of if you extended, you see the throw over from Stelzig to Sprecher, if they would extend the season a little bit into June. But I know on the baseball side, the Legions and the VFW teams and so forth don't want to give up that early start to their season.
Right, but there's got to be some kind of balance because you're exactly right. Just extend it 2 weeks into June.
Wow, right.
And then the Legion can go 2 weeks into August.
Right. I mean, because you always feel for the kids because the best weather of spring half the time they get, the last week of the regular season, right?
Exactly.
And I also think, too, if you're really trying to protect the kids, softball, any sport for that matter, throwing, running, track and field in 45-degree weather isn't good on your body.
Right.
Another throw over from Stelzig.
I think playing high school baseball better protection than their summer leagues where they're playing tournaments and they're playing 7 games in 3 days.
Yeah,
so at least in
absolutely.
high school, it's regulated on how much they're playing.
Yep. Absolutely. Lundenborg's got pop in the barrel with 3 doubles on the season. Heater, but then a balk.
Going to be a balk.
Yep.
He didn't stop.
Yep. He was getting in a rhythm between throwing home or throwing to first, and then that time was just ready to go. And he knew it, too.
He did.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be complaining at all.
No. But for Egan's case, I mean, that's basically a free bunt without an out. Move New over, or stolen base for that matter. So Elias New at second, Lundenborg at the plate. 0-1 count from Stelzig as he's thrown over to first more than he's thrown to home. Curveball out. And looks like we have Benton Blattner getting loose for Prior Lake out in their bullpen. I think we're set for a little bit back and forth action here, or I guess maybe waiting for that one big inning from one team to try to take advantage of this game and take the momentum. Lefties aren't getting the benefit of the outside corner today.
No, he's definitely keeping it tight.
Yeah.
So this pitch count's got to be up in the 80s by now, I would think.
I would think so, too. He's got 3 walks, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 K.
Yeah, he's just running everybody deep on counts,
Yeah,
too.
yep. No, and that makes sense because it looks like they send somebody out there probably to gauge on their reliever. Prior Lake pretty much playing Lundenborg straight up as far as defense alignment goes. Goldberg playing a little bit with New behind the plate. Big curveball that loses the hat and actually calls one on the outside corner.
I don't think the crowd liked that call
No.
too much. That was a nice curveball.
Yeah, absolutely. That might be one of the sharper ones of the day. It kind of looks like he's kind of throwing maybe 2 different curveballs. One looks like a little bit of a slider, a curveball, a slurve, right, with the slow break. And that was more of a sharp, almost 12-6 straight
Yeah, that was
drop.
definitely a big bend.
Another
There it is
curveball,
again.
fouled off. There's one thing I've been impressed though with Brandon here as a freshman is he just seems very comfortable at the plate. He doesn't seem like he's ever overmatched.
Yeah, he really
for a
does.
younger player.
Even behind the plate, he does not look like a freshman.
No. There's always things you can improve on and correct up. Ball goes in the center, but New will stay there as Slates is quickly there to gather the errant throw by Stelzig. You don't see too many pickoffs from a lefty to second.
No,
because they have to either turn all the way around, right, or a snap throw like that. You're not going to get anything on it.
That's the first time he's done an inside move over there.
Yeah. I feel like you see more guys get picked off a second when the catcher throws behind somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Foul back again. A good at bat by Lunenburg, running the pitch count up. 2-2 count, nobody out. New reached on a single up the middle. Made his way to second on the balk by Stelzig. Rip to right center field. That's going to get down. That's going to be another double, probably the 4th of the season for Lunenburg, maybe even a triple. New's going to easily glide into home. We got ourselves a tie ball game. Excellent piece of hitting.
Yeah, he found the perfect gap. I believe the center fielder was shaded the other way, and the right fielder must have been closer to the line. Took them a while to get to that ball.
Yeah. Well, and after, fouling off all those pitches, just a nice piece of hitting to go with the pitch.
Exactly.
So many times you see righties just always want to try to barrel it up and try to yank it to left center field when the lefty, whether he has tail or not on his fastball or his curveball, and just going with it and just flipping it over the second baseman's head. Second baseman is Ryan Eckerle. 400 on base percentage on the season. Shows the bunt but pulls back for a ball. Running for Lunenburg, Eddie Moore called up here today. Looks like somebody gave him a wristband finally.
Finally got his cheat sheet.
Yeah. Otherwise, Coach Colors or Coach Walls would have to give him some secret signals. Offered, but tipped away by Eckerle. I saw that every so often it makes the rounds like on Twitter, and it's like a 60-year-old Mickey Mantle talking to the Yankees about drag bunting.
Huh.
It's really interesting because the way he's teaching it as a lefty is different than what normally instead of stepping with your right foot out as a lefty, he would step with his left foot first because he had more back control. And he was obviously, before he stepped on that sprinkler head, he was one of the fastest guys in the league. But I think his number was something like 3.1 to first, and like the next closest was like 3.6.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was really interesting to see him how the style that he used to do a drag bunt, compared to the natural way of everybody's thinking that a lefty needs to step out with the right foot to get that quick first step. Bunted foul to even up the count 2-2.
He's just reaching for it too much.
I have to tell Coach Butler to get the weed whacker out and get those dandelions off of
yeah.
first baseline. That could come into play maybe. Maybe that's a good or bad thing. I don't know.
Interesting, yeah. Those are getting pretty big.
Field's looking great, though. The field's been in good shape all year.
It has.
I think it tends to hold water pretty decent, and they haven't really got, overly pounded in the night before a game, so. Swung on and missed by Eckerle as Stelzig does a nice job of coming back to get his second strikeout, a big out. And then now we're going to see the designated hitter Joe Anderson come to the plate. Eddie Moore at second, running for Brandon Lunenburg, who collected his 11th RBI in the year. So Lunenburg second on the team in RBIs, also his 4th double of the year. Anderson's got some pop in the bat, triple earlier in the season. Also got some speed on the bases with 2 stolen bases so far. Kind of rotated, and you probably noticed it too, but kind of rotated, between a couple different guys at DH.
Yep.
Depending on if they think they're facing a lefty or righty, and then just kind of going off of a hot bat. Usually George Esser, Joe Anderson tend to be the main 2. Every so often they'll have Fensky DH as well, and Lockemeyer will play first. 4-4 score. All even up, 0-1 count, 1 down. Stelzig started today's game, pitching into the 4th here. Ball gets in the dirt, gets past Fleek, and that'll send Moore over to third.
So now not getting the bunt down doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, right. And now Joe Anderson's called to do something that the Minnesota Twins cannot do with the Twins' problems with bases loaded. I think they actually hit decent with runners in scoring position. But just getting something either to the outfield as Prior Lake's infield is playing up on the grass to cut off that run. It was a nice pitch to hit there. Curveball in, or curveball low and out. 1-2 count, one down. Anderson trying to do his job here to bring in more from third so he can take a 5-4 lead.
We just hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, he's going to say.
We're averaging 2 innings an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, like as you mentioned, a lot of high counts. A lot of throws over the bases. But, 8 runs, yes, but when you look at the board, you only see 5 hits between the two teams. So, I mean, that just tells you that's a lot of high pitch counts, a lot of walks. One-two count, designated hitter Joe Anderson, the junior, up at the plate. Eddie Moore at third, courtesy running for the catcher Lunenborg. And another big strikeout by Stelzig. Throw down is in time to Becker. Third strikeout of today for Stelzig. For Prior Lake, it looks like they still have Benton Blattner getting loose, but I'm at the same time hoping that Stelzig can get through the fourth here. Number 9 hitter is going to be Tate Gage, the left fielder. 353 on base, a double, 4 runs, 4 stolen bases this season. Eddie Moore at third. A back and forth outing. Fastball misses in. Eagan led 2-0 after 1. Prior Lake tied it up. Then they took a lead of 3-2 in the top of the third. Eagan tied that back up. So we're just kind of playing back and forth here.
It's definitely been an even game.
Yeah, a little bit of a chess match.
Maybe get a ball in the dirt here, steal one.
Right. Nope. 2-hopper to Goldberg. Goldberg's throw over to Sprecher is in time to retire Gage. But Eagan does tie it up on that beautiful rip to right center field by Brandon Lunenborg. Eagan gets 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. All even at 4. Back in 60 seconds at Wildcat Park for the top of the 5th inning.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub it while you sing the song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Casey Lux, joined by Jamie Eggleston here at Wildcat Park. 82-degree day. About 10 to 15 mile an hour wind out to left center field. It's a 4-4 game as we slowly roll into the top of the 5th. Luke Roiger here set for his 2nd inning of work. I didn't see the number. We'll see here in a second. Nice curveball in there for a strike. Number 3 hitter is hitting. This is Hayden Anthony, the right fielder for the Prior Lake Lakers. As I said earlier, Prior Lake is as of now, 8th in the conference. Eagan, 10th spot and last. But, as you know, and whether you followed it on Game Changer when you weren't able to attend or the games you've attended, so many of Egan's games have been one-run losses.
They really have.
Or
yeah.
one bad inning, right? I mean,
right.
And then with that being said, we're not saying as we see a 2-hopper hit to Huseman and 1 bobble, see he can get his throw over in time to Fensky. No. So that bobble is going to make an error for Anthony to reach. But yeah, I mean, it's not as if to say that, you just flip it over and all of a sudden now they're, 13-3.
Right.
They could easily be in that middle of the conference or even be up around that 4th seed.
Yeah, they have definitely let a few games get away from them.
Well, and even the one game we did, I can't remember if it was on TV here or if I was doing the PA, but, Lakeville, I think one of the Lakevilles, north or south, I think it was senior night. 3rd pitch of the game, a solo home run, and then Eagan ends up losing 1-0. It's just been a lot of things that you just don't normally see every baseball season. It seemed to have all happened in one season for Eagan. Linus Fleek, the catcher, he's been kind of the hot bat today with a double. Bunts it down the line. Smart play by Huseman.
Oh, he's going to say that
They're going to say he
kicked the dirt.
Or they're going to say he kicked the dirt.
He affected it.
Oh, okay.
Here comes Coach Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of that in-between where for a split second it looked like he was maybe make a catch, maybe a double up the runner. Wise move of pulling the glove back at the last minute, seeing the spin. You don't see that call very often.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, too. I thought that what he thought is that just the glove just barely touched it, but yeah, it would make sense if he's saying that his foot affected it.
It'd be interesting to see what the writing of that rule is.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense that you can't kick dirt at the ball and make it go foul.
Well, and the tough thing, too, is that on a play like that, it's pretty much the home plate call, so you can't even, ask for help from the base ump, right?
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely his judgment call.
So Fleek's going to find a way to get on for his shortest hit probably of the season. I don't even know how that's even ruled in the book. I mean, does he get
I guess it's an infield single.
Yeah, right?
I don't think it's an error on Huseman.
No, it wouldn't be.
He didn't have a play, even if he were to come up with it clean.
Right. So Dylan Moyer is going to once again be the courtesy runner for the catcher. And let Fleek rest a little bit. So Fleek working on a cycle, as all he needs now is a triple and home run. And the way this game's going, he might get 2 at-bats. So Ruiger's in his first jam here of today. As Anthony's on second. Courtesy runner Moyer's on first, nobody out. Eagan set up for the bunt. As we watch Cole Sprecher, the first baseman, foul bunt one down the third baseline.
Almost looked like they had a pickoff play at second put on, but maybe the pitcher didn't get the notice.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too, right?
Yeah, and Elias looks like
he caused a little chaos, right? Start sending Eckerly in to first. You bring in the first baseman, and then you try to hope to catch Anthony at second, kind of watching everybody else run around. Another bunt attempt.
Oh, now they got him.
Now they got him.
Oh, get rid of it.
Down to New, over to Huseman, not caught by Huseman. Unfortunately, that's going to send Moyers over to second as well.
Into the dugout.
Oh, boy. Just a whole lot of chaos. So they went from an out at third and keeping Moyers at first.
Here comes Coach Butler again.
To a run scored, and then now Moyers is sitting over at third base. I think if Huseman catches that, he's able to get a takedown.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ruiger doing his job, and they haven't hit him. So 0-2 count after all that happened. Now we're going to bring the infield in for Eagan to cut off that run. 5-4 game as Prior Lake now is taking the lead. And it looks like Will Mitchell getting loose in the Eagan bullpen. Hot shot caught by Huseman. Huseman makes up for dropping that relay throw from New with a diving catch here at third. Holds Moyers at third for the first out of the inning.
It's even more impressive because they were playing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost no reaction time.
Yeah, 100%. So, second baseman now will be Matt Johnson at the plate. Dylan Moyers still at third. He's courtesy running for the catcher, Fleek. Big swing on the curveball from Roiger. And Roiger just kind of being steady as he's been all season, living around the strike zone. Let him take a swing and maybe do a squeeze, or no? Okay, we'll see. 1-1 count.
They certainly have been bunting a lot.
Yeah, right. Haven't been getting him down, though, for the most part.
No, and I think I just gamble on getting this ball in play.
Yeah, right. Johnson's set to play some college ball at St. John's, so you'll maybe see him next year or following years.
Could be.
Curveball in there for a strike. Yeah, I always feel like as a, if you're a coach or an opponent, guy on third, one or less outs, if they let him take that big cut on that first pitch, you feel like the squeeze is coming. Johnson, nice piece of hitting as he lifts one into left center gap, cut off by Anderson to hold him to a single, but Johnson does get an RBI single, pushing that Prior Lake Lakers lead to 6-4. Second hit of the inning, second run of the game against Roiger. Third run of the game for Roiger. Designated hitter Brody Stefani will step in. Yeah, I think we might be set for a game of plenty of bats and plenty of pitchers here today.
Definitely.
Fastball just misses inside. Roiger hasn't thrown over to first quite yet. Popped up and out. 1-1 count, one out. But a funky inning of a little bit of everything, things we haven't seen in a while. I mean, it's hard to know. Like you said, I mean, did he think his foot touched it? Do you think Huseman's glove touched it? Or do you think it just truly was kicking the dirt or ground?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious he did not touch it.
Right.
So the umpire was in the right spot for that. But the way he reacted, like he was going to be quick to make this very unique call.
Right.
And he didn't hesitate to do it.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other explanation.
That's just it, right. So Stefani flies out to Anderson in center for the second out. Jackson Barrett, 2 out, 2 RBI single in the second for Barrett. And that tied it up early. Johnson at first after he had an RBI single. He takes off and runs.
Great pitch to run on.
Yeah. What I mean, on a play like that, when a hitter swings and kind of falls down, I mean, is there a certain level that then they'll say it's a catcher interference?
Well,
I mean, does he have to be higher up in the air type of thing?
Yeah, I think he'd have to be falling into the catcher on something like that.
Because he kind of fell straight forward, but he was still low enough. And I think for Brandon behind the plate, it was a low pitch that he'd have to kind of gather and still throw, so he just held on to it. Roiger quickly to 0-2 here against Barrett. Johnson steals second. 6-4 game. Teams are even on hits, 4 apiece. But too many errors on the board for both teams.
Yeah, way too many errors.
Yeah. Errors and early walks. Change up high and out. Good waist pitch. Looks like Mitchell's either ready or just taking a little bit of breather out in the bullpen for Eagan. I'm assuming that Eagan wants to get Roeger through the 5th here. Mitchell is a freshman, typically a starter, but they've used him at times as a reliever. Winds died down. Hot shot foul. Roeger came inside. Another good 0-2 pitch, though. A good 1-2 pitch, right?
Yeah, that was a good pitch.
So have you seen the wave of kids throwing sliders in the college level, too?
Yeah, everybody throws a slider these days.
It seems that way, doesn't it? I felt like when I played high school, as we see him take off, Johnson's going to get a second stolen base of the inning.
Definitely got that one off the pitcher.
Yeah, I was going to say, yep. He just, you could tell he was timing out Luke on the mound. I think when I played, high school, and obviously that was, mid to late 90s and so forth, but it was very rare, and it was like only the power pitchers, that were probably strong enough and that had a heater fastball that threw a slider with it, right? Now it's like every kid's got a slider.
Yeah. It does seem like everybody's got a slider these days.
I just know how, I know that, curveballs can put a lot on your elbow, but it's the sliders that you just worry about, right? I mean,
yeah, sliders are a very unnatural thing to do to your arm.
Yeah, exactly. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Johnson's moved his way over to third. Nice play by Roeger as he underhands it over to Fensky in time for the 3rd out. So Prior Lake, they do get 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on. They take a 6-4 lead. We're going to head to the bottom of the 5th. Back in 60 seconds for more baseball here at Wildcat Park.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a 3rd-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Okay, we're back. Bottom of the 5th. We're crawling along here today. Casey Lux joined again by Jamie Eggleston. We have a new pitcher on the mound for Prior Lake. It's going to be Benton Blattner, a junior. So now Eagan will see a righty for the first time, whereas Prior Lake's only seen lefties today. I don't know what we're working on here.
I don't know if he's saying the ball is too new and needs to be dirtied up a little bit.
Well, and the other thing too, I think what you kind of forget about is we had a game yesterday, and actually I was pitching, and I felt the same thing too. I was like in the 2nd inning, and I felt like half the balls were already all scuffed up. And I know that a lot of pitchers want to keep them that way. I don't want to throw a real wet or a slick beat up ball. I think what you kind of forget about here is that those fall balls, the fence is so high that they're either getting beat up by the fence or they're going out to the onto the road.
No, I always preferred a nice scuff on my baseball.
Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah, I'm not a power pitcher, so I can't really dig in for that curveball with a scuffed up ball. What was your repertoire on the mound?
Well, I was a side armor.
Okay.
And so I was a fastball slider.
Okay.
And I had a really nice changeup that I could throw to lefties.
Did you throw a circle or more of a palm?
It's basically a circle change.
Okay.
So I've got big hands, so I can kind of hold it on the outer 3 fingers.
Yeah, hold it like an egg, right? Get a good release.
Yep.
All right. Egan's going to start with the leadoff hitter, George Anderson, the center fielder. So they got the guy up that they want to try to start a big rally. We'll see if George maybe tries to throw down a drag bunt or if he's going to swing away. Brand new pitcher, as we said, is Benton Blattner. Book is closed on Stelzig. He went 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 Ks, and 3 walks.
And if he didn't hit his pitch count, he was awfully close.
Yes, right. Yep. But, I mean, I thought he did a solid job of battling. I mean, really, you know, that first inning, they stole that one on the first and third play.
Yeah, to throw that many pitches
Yeah.
and only 4 innings and not have that many walks.
Right.
It's a lot of big counts.
Yeah. And it looked like early on in the game, you know, he didn't have the best grasp of his curveball, and it got sharper as, you know, the third and the fourth inning came on, right? So quickly, 4-pitch walk to Anderson. So Blattner trying to get settled in here. I think the saying is, walks and ex-girlfriends will haunt you. That's what I've heard.
Definitely leadoff walks.
Exactly. Yeah. Senior third baseman Will Huseman had the hot shot diving grab at third. We'll see if that sparks the bat here in the bottom of the 5th. As we mentioned, Anderson 12 stolen bases on the season, and now he's got a righty on the mound, so even a better chance we'll see him in motion here early on. Huseman takes the first strike of the day from Blattner. 0-1 count, 6-4 game. Back and forth seesaw battle between the Lakers and the Wildcats. Curveball hangs up high for a ball. I do like the stirrups look. A few people bring that back once in a while.
Very old school.
It is. I come from the days when I was a bat boy when they were true stirrups. Big swing by Huseman. Not just the sock version.
Well, we were at Clemson, the first school to bring back the long pants.
Okay,
and
sure.
They are now commonly referred to as Clemson pants.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, big bounce. It's still going to send Anderson down. Nice job of Fleek being a brick wall back there and taking it off the top of his chest. As Blattner spiked a curveball. So 2-2 count, Anderson at second. RBI chance for Huseman. Huseman third on the team in RBIs with 7. He does have that 1 home run. That was the home opener. Hit a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 1st to right field. Fastball in the dirt, 3-2. So a good time for Eagan hitters to be patient, especially with the new pitcher coming in.
Yeah, he seems to have a little trouble finding the zone.
Yeah. Yeah, retrain your eye a little bit. Now you're seeing a righty. David Rockford will be on deck. Lakers defense playing Huseman straight up, so not really even much of a tilt. Fouled back by Huseman. No shift even by the second baseman. Right field playing a little closer to the line. Center field straight up. Will is, when he's really going, is a gap-to-gap hitter, right? And then obviously with power down the line.
Yeah, he's got some nice pop.
Good piece of hitting there by Will. Second straight walk by Blattner.
A 3-2 breaking ball in the dirt when you're having trouble finding the strike zone.
So
interesting.
I thought that was interesting too.
Maybe with the base open.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's fair. But I mean, I think that was only the second or third curveball he's thrown so far.
Yeah.
And the first one he hung up high, and the other one spiked in the dirt. David Rockford steps in, playing right field today. Getting a break from second as Ryan Eckerly's playing second today. David, 400 on base, 4 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 8 runs as he fouls off that bunt attempt. Another speedster that when he's on base, typically will come around to score. And you can see what Egan's trying to work here, right? You want to get guys second and third with Fensky.
Right, it's definitely a bunt situation. We're just struggling to get them down today.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. You got Fensky and New following up. You can get guys on second and third with 1 out. Good shape. Gets the bunt down. It's going to be a tough play for
Very
Blattner.
nice.
So bunted it no man's land as Barrett has to hold at third. Blattner did a good job of getting off the mound, but that was a perfectly
there was no
late
chance
bunt.
on that.
Yep, absolutely.
He put that in the perfect spot.
Yep. So Eagan with the rally here. As Rockford's going to grab his second hit of the day. So Fenske's going to come up with bases loaded. Coach Butler wanted to give a little insight. But you trust your senior that if he throws it over the middle, you're going to let him swing away right away.
Yeah, I
So,
definitely think
absolutely,
Fenske's
especially with
swinging.
struggling, right? Yeah. So Anderson at third, Huseman at second, both reached on walks. Rockford reached on the infield single. Big swing right up the middle. Blattner will get it, flip it in time to Fleek. Fleek's relay to Spreckner, not in time.
That was a very big swing.
Yeah, big swing, absolutely. Got the bottom half of the bat and just kind of hit it right off the, almost off a home plate. So one pitch and gets an out for Blattner, so that maybe he'll settle him down a little bit. Elias New will come back up here, the shortstop. Elias had an RBI single in the first, so looking to add to his total. Huseman now at third as Fenske's at first. Fastball in there for a strike. Rockford at second. Swung on low on a low fastball. Well, interesting to see now if he kind of goes, if he's warmed up enough now to go back to the breaking ball. If he's going to stay fastball here, maybe try to throw something either high or out.
Let's see that big curveball again.
Yeah. It seems like if he gets it over the plate, it's sharp. You know,
Definitely.
the ones that he spiked, I mean, they did have good movement on it. He just wasn't throwing it the full 50.
There it is.
There it is, yeah.
Oh, super play by the catcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Fleek with a heck of a.
Saved a run.
Absolutely. And only the goalie type of save,
Yeah,
right?
ironically, it wasn't a very good block. He just got lucky to get his glove on it.
Yeah. That was a huge play. I would have sent everybody up a base. 1-2 count, 1 out. Blattner came in relief of Stelzig, who pitched the first 4. Ripped on to left. We'll see if this got the distance. It's going to stay in the park. No, off the top.
Oh.
Huseman scores. Rockford moves to third. So the longest single of the day.
Exactly. Your runner on second's got to be watching that and getting farther off.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, even if something like that's caught, you're still going to have a long time for him to make that relay throw. But Eagan does get that run. Elias Snoop picks up his second RBI of the day, so he jumps up to 4 RBIs on the season. Everybody moves up. Catcher Brandon Lundenborg will step in. RBI double, his last at bat. Fastball out. And obviously the Eagan dugout's wondering where that wind was from the earlier part of the game.
Right.
Still hit really well.
Yeah, he definitely got all of it.
Yeah. Curveball, nice. Ooh, gets behind Fleek, but not enough for Rockford to go. Ooh, and a hot throw in. Ooh, a lot happening there on that one play.
Yeah, you can tell he's lost confidence in that pitch.
Right.
He's afraid to throw it now because he can't control it.
Yeah. And I think that's a good call because that's going to bring out pitching coach Zach Horn here.
When that's what he did to Elias was he threw that curveball and it almost got away.
Yes.
So he did not want to come back with it again and take a chance at a pass ball. Grooved a fastball, and Elias was sitting on it.
Yeah, and I think, and that's probably what you battle against as a right-handed pitcher with a short left field fence, right?
Yes.
You don't want to hang that sharp curveball over the middle half of the plate or even the middle third. So you're aiming to throw that out, but it's been too far out.
Right.
And then, if the catcher's not setting up outside, like we've seen, you almost have to have a miracle backhand glove block because you're not going to be able to get your body over in time.
Exactly.
So 2-0 count to Lundenborg. There's Coach Butler. College teammate, my buddy. Okay, so you got Rockford at third, Fensky at second, New at first. New with the longest RBI single of the season for Eagan off the base of the wall. I just moved everybody up 90 feet. There's that curveball.
There it is.
Looks like he kind of took something off of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that very well what maybe Coach Horn was saying. Hey, you don't need to snap it so hard. Just, give him something different to look at, change the eye level. So 2-1 to Lunenborg. 1 out. Heater. Out, misses. Lunenborg RBI double into right center.
Big 3-1 pitch here.
Yes, absolutely.
Should just be sitting fastball.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what Eagan's been waiting for. They've been waiting for to have a chance to have a big blow-up type inning. Heater swung on. Ooh, right down the middle. Yeah, there it was.
Good aggressive swing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was almost afraid they'd have a take on there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Blattner came in relief of Stelzig through the first 4 innings. 3-2 pitch. Curveball. Good take by Lunenborg.
Very good take.
Absolutely. So 3rd walk of the inning for Blattner. 2nd run given up. We're all evened up at 6. Eddie Moore will come in. Courtesy run for the catcher. Ryan Eckerly, the second baseman, will step in. From across the diamond, it's Fensky at third, New at second, Eddie Moore at first. Eckerly, first pitch, fastball, good pitch in the outside corner, kept at the knees. Yeah, and I'm sure for Blattner, having probably a sharp curveball, it's hard to use it with, so many runners on base, right?
Yeah.
And that's, and half the problem was he walked the first 2 hitters, and
Well, I would say he doesn't have confidence in it, but he just threw it 3-2.
Yeah,
with the bases loaded.
Yep.
So he believes in it.
Right.
He just hasn't shown it yet today.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes, you can throw in the pen all you want.
Yeah.
And then you get on the mound, you just don't have the feel for it the first, batter or 2, right?
Absolutely. That's a tough strikeout.
Yeah, that is. Tough strike on the outside corner there to Eckerly. 3 straight pitches for Blattner's first strikeout here of today's game. We're going to bring up the designated hitter, Joe Anderson. So Eagan just kind of waiting for that one big hit.
Yeah, you got to get a ball in play on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and as much as they like to bunt, right? I mean, you just don't see too many people bunting with bases loaded.
Right.
It's just
bases loaded,
hard
1 out.
to do. Yeah.
I'm wanting the double in the gap. Let's blow this open.
Well, because that bunt has to be so perfect, right? Because even if it moves the pitcher a little ways, he's still going to very well be able to flip it home.
Yeah, and it's a force play at the plate.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Big swing by Anderson. It's 0-2. 2 down. Blattner on the mound. Nobody up in either bullpens. Fastball. Popped up. Goldberg going back, called off by the center fielder Slates as he makes the catch. So excellent job by Blattner to settle back down and get out of the inning after that 2. But Eagan does tie it up as we seesaw back and forth. 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, but unfortunately 3 left on base. We're all even at 6, back in 60 seconds for the top of the 6th inning here at Wildcat Park.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Well, welcome back. 6-6 is our score as we head to the top of the sixth. Freshman Will Mitchell now in relief. As the books closed on Luke Roiger, he goes 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 strikeout. Mitchell primarily a starter, but also has been used at times in relief. I guess you maybe consider him, what, the 4th starter, maybe 5th starter in the rotation?
Yeah, probably around there.
And he's going to be facing the number 9 hitter, the center fielder, Noah Slates. I heard that maybe Strop or Fensky could be also in relief today, as Slates offers at a drag bunt. I would think maybe Fensky more of on the save side of things, and Strop maybe as a long relief.
I think we're getting close to the save time.
Yep, right. And that's why you need to take advantage of that last inning, right?
Right.
Find your way to 7-6 or 8-6. And like we talked about that, it was just the tough read, I get it, but it's that ball off the wall that, that was hit. That to only get 1 run, I mean, just to go station to station on that.
Right, yeah, it's disappointing that you didn't get to that one.
Good spot pitch there on the. And if I remember correctly, I think Will's got a splitter in his arsenal. I think he goes fastball, curveball, and he's got a splitter. I don't know how often he's. No, I take that back. That's Brody Ilya's got the splitter because he holds the ball every time with as he is.
Yeah, he chokes it before he gets into his glove.
Yep. Fly ball caught by Fensky, so nice job of Mitchell getting that first out of the inning. Leadoff hitter, left fielder Nate Bodine.
Nice
it's
breaking ball.
It's kind of wild to say, but it's been for Prior Lake, as far as the hits or the big clutch hits have been kind of that 7, 8, 9 hitters.
Oh, really?
Until you get to Fleek, the number 4 hitter. I mean, not that the top hasn't done anything, but the RBI hits, the hits that have kept the innings going for Prior Lake has come actually on the bottom of the lineup. Fastball hit on out to left. Gage got a beat on it. 10 feet to his left to make the catch. So quickly 2 outs. Mitchell's done this in about 6 pitches. And the shortstop Jackson Goldberg will settle in. Heater inside. Yeah, I think Mitchell is a fastball, curveball, slider guy. He might have a changeup as well. I haven't seen it yet. Spikes one out. In your role, does it call for being on the road to recruit, or you kind of have other assistant coaches that have more time for that to
yeah, the other coaches do the traveling to recruit.
Sure.
I probably have 3 to 5 calls a week.
Okay.
But I learned early on traveling to recruit wasn't going to work for me.
Yeah, right. 3-0 pitch gets over for a strike to make it 3-1. 2 down. Goldberg, the number 2 hitter in the lineup for the Lakers. Fastball's up, so first walk of the day for Mitchell.
We just couldn't have the quick and clean inning.
No, so close. Right fielder is going to be Hayden Anthony. We'll see if they put Goldberg in motion now with the righty on the mound. Nice curveball, right back to Mitchell. Underhand flip to Fensky in time for a somewhat quick inning, right? No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. 6-6 our score. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, back in 60 seconds here at Wildcat Park.
Do you want to go grab some frozen yogurt tonight?
Maybe another time. Thanks, though.
Hey, Charles, how do you like your burger?
Ooh, well done, I hope. I love this tree. Hey, honey. We thought we'd try something new.
Family art hour.
Come on, sit down.
Okay, guys, what do you think? That is you.
Oh, you got jokes. You're funny.
That is you, and that is your son, and your other son.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Okay, we're back. DJ Michael and Esser got AC/DC cranked up, so they're trying to get the bats alive here, Jamie.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get one here and then hold them in the 7th.
And maybe have a 1-2-3 in the 7th for only the second time of the game.
Then we can go home.
Right. So the number 9 hitter, Tate Gage, steps in. And as we mentioned, Benton Blantner is going to be out here for his 2nd inning of relief. Fastball's inside, misses. 6-6 our score. Eagan out hitting the Lakers. I have them at 6-4, but they have it on the board as 5-4. Fastball out, misses again. 2-0 quickly to Gage.
Good timing, good rhythm.
So the formula is get Gage on, and then you have the option for Gio as in George Anderson, to either bunt or even drag bunt for that matter. Good fastball outside corner low.
Good rhythm here, 5. Fire that barrel.
Blanton looks like he's settling in. Obviously came through last inning with that bases loaded and getting out of the jam. Fouled away, quickly 2-2. So now we're going to see if he has that trust in the curveball. Fastball high and in.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I thought he was going to the curveball.
I did too.
I thought he was going to try to spike it, kind of, or throw it towards the outside corner. 3-2 count. Tate Gage, the sophomore, takes a ball for a walk.
Leadoff walks.
Yep. So that is now the 4th walk for Blattner. Gage, as we mentioned, 4 stolen bases on the year, 4 runs scored.
I would say it's almost a guarantee that George will be bunting.
Yep.
He might take a strike just because we're having a little control problem.
Yep. That's just it. Take a strike, maybe even move him. Okay. All right, nice
First
bunt
pitch.
down the line, fielded cleanly. Low throw, going to get past Sprecher. Anderson's going to stay at first. Gage is going to get all the way over to 3rd. Hard to say. It would have been a bang-bang play. I think they would have got him, though.
Yeah, I think he's out.
It wasn't
with a
a
good
dirt.
throw.
Yeah. I mean, Barrett got to it quick. I know he was playing up, but that was a nice bunt right down the line.
It was. Well, now do you do it again?
Well, that's just it. It's just it.
I don't know if you take the bat out of Will's hands.
Well, yeah.
Even a double play scores a run.
Looks like the official scorebook of the dugout says that was a hit. So senior Will Huseman, third baseman, steps in. Anderson at first, Gage at third. Tie game 6-6, nobody out. Huseman, 7 RBIs on the season. Gonna bring the infield about middle. Actually gonna bring them all the way in.
Ooh. That looked a little low.
Yeah, it did look low. I don't know about you. I like to kind of have my infielders play, like, not on the grass, though, like play middle, right? Because you still want to have a chance of that double play ball. And then if it is a slow roller, they should be able to still come up and try to cut off that run. And then that's what happens, too, right? So Anderson gets his second stolen base of the day. And that's the other part of it, too, right? When you're playing in, they can just run behind you. All right, so Blattner once again has to pitch in a pressure situation. Fouled off to the right side, 0-2 quickly to Huseman. Gage at third. Anderson at second. Prior Lake Lakers defense playing in on the grass. 6-6 game, bottom of the 6th here at Wildcat Park. David Rockford on deck. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, hit high down the line. Chased by Anthony. Makes the catch. Too shallow, though, for Gage to take. And now we're getting back to hitting that grounder to second.
Right, right.
So Huseman sent down on that fly ball to right. Nice job by Blattner. He was up in that bat from the get-go. Obviously, kind of got gifted a first strike on that low strike.
Yep.
David Rockford will step in, playing right field today.
Well, I would now say the squeeze is very much in play.
Yeah. And kind of what we were talking about, too. You got your fastest guy at second. Very well could be the squeeze to bring in 2 potentially.
Exactly.
Just to, keep him bringing, yeah. Especially if he's able to kind of take it with him to first, right?
Yep.
But yeah, one thing I've been really impressed with David this year is just his back control. I mean, he doesn't get fooled a whole lot at the plate. He has good back control.
Yeah, very much so.
And he's just been steady, right? I mean.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see if George Anderson breaks from second.
Yeah, right.
And they truly put this on.
Yeah. And once again, I mean, Lakers defense on the grass, so I mean, there's no holding on him. He could get all the way halfway to third if he wants to.
Yep.
Before the pitch is even thrown. Fastball out. The other cat and mouse game is you have first base open, you could pitch around him, but then you're facing, Egan's best hitter in Fensky, right?
Yep. With a pitcher who's struggling to throw strikes.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a little different if you're going to pitch around like the 6th hitter to get to the 7th hitter, right? Or,
exactly, yep.
1-0 count to Rockford. Gage at third.
There goes Anderson.
There goes the squeeze.
Squeeze is on.
Yep.
Watch
Gage
Gio.
is in.
Here he
Throw
comes.
To first.
The piggyback squeeze.
Down.
You got
2
it.
runs. So, very rare to see 2 RBIs on a suicide squeeze.
Very rare.
I think the way we're predicting, maybe we should go get some lotto tickets after that one.
Yeah, I've got an inside source on this team.
Well, right. I wish I could say I knew like what the wristband calls were, but it just seemed with the guys that were on base, right? It just seemed too obvious.
It did.
Especially with them playing up too.
I'm sure that's what Coach Butler, when he pulled them all in, said, second pitch, this is what we're doing.
Yep, exactly.
Excellent job getting the bunt down.
Yep, for sure. Nope, and also getting it down and not right back to the pitcher, right?
Yep.
I mean, just even if it was the pitcher, if you just move him left to right a little bit.
Yeah.
And I will say too, a great play by Barrett. I mean, still to come in and Rockford's got speed, so still to get the out at first was huge. But excellent by George to keep coming around third and easily score. So that will be Rockford's 5th and 6th RBI of the season. Actually 7th because he had the one off the wall as well. There's a spiked fastball. 2-0 count. It's a big home plate umpire.
Yeah, he is a big boy.
Yeah. I mean, strong too. I mean, I don't think two people are going to go chest to chest with him on the call. 3-0 count. Fensky takes ball 4. So Blattner has 5 walks here through 1 2/3 innings. Bring up Elias New. And also a mound visit from Zach Horn. Still no action, though, in the Prior Lake bullpen. Oh, nope, never mind. We're going to have some position changes here. We're going to send Dylan Moyers out to left.
I guess you can't run for Fensky and let him warm up. Actually, maybe you can re-enter.
You could re-enter, yeah. Yeah, I thought that's what Butler was kind of looking at. Okay, so Dylan Moyers is going to go out to left, and then I believe they're going to bring in Bodine to pitch. Why don't we do this? I'm going to send it back to the truck if they're ready. Okay, we're going to send it back for 60 seconds as Bodine gets loose. It's an 8-6 game, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back with the Elias New at bat here in 60 seconds.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold. Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Okay, we're back. So the position change was Nate Bodine came in from left field. Dylan Moyers replaced him out in left. The DH is still active because in a sense Moyers came in for the pitcher's spot. Fensky drew the walk and as we were talking off air, that's also going to allow Fensky to get loose to come in for a save opportunity. And in doing so, we're going to get a little Trevor Langenberg on the courtesy or pinch running actually at first. So Elias New will step in. Elias New steps in at the plate. 2 down here, 8-6 game. Excellent execution of a suicide squeeze with runners on second and third. Brought in Gage as well as Anderson from second as Anderson just never stopped running. Takes a strike from Bodine. So I don't know if Bodine got loose out there or not. I never really noticed him warm up. Maybe he was in between innings. But as you know too, I mean, it's a little different when you're a position player and you're playing catch in between innings, right? I mean,
Right.
your arm's staying more loose anyway.
One at this level, you're used to doing that too.
Exactly,
You're used
right.
to coming in pretty cold.
Yeah, it's the POs that, the pitchers only, that need that little bit extra time, obviously, in the pen. Langenberg at first. And
nice
1,
pitch.
2, 3. Great pitch by Bodine to strike out New. But in doing so, the Wildcats get 2 runs on 1 hit. no errors, and 1 left on. 8-6 is our score as we head into the top of the 7th. Back in 60 seconds at Wildcat Park.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
All righty, here we go. Top of the 7th, 8-6 is our score. Fensky still getting loose in the pen. They do have Trevor Langenberg playing first as of now, and Will Mitchell is still in relief on the mound. Books closed on Blattner. He went 1 2/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, a K, and 5 walks. So those 2 quick walks early is really what kind of hurt Benton. He did work out of that jam, though, where it could have gotten uglier, but then Eagan obviously came back with the big squeeze to score 2 runs.
Yep, leadoff walks will always kill you in so many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not often in a piggyback squeeze, but from time to time.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see kind of what the game plan is here. It's going to go 4, 5, and 6. Linus Fleek is going to be the catcher. He's going to start off leadoff hit here in the 7th. If they're going to roll with Mitchell or at the same time be ready to bring Fensky in, I guess if somebody gets on maybe.
Yeah, I think any sign of trouble they'll make the move. But you know, he's so far the only pitcher who's had a pretty clean inning.
Absolutely. First pitch.
And he's throwing
Hopper. Langenberg gets some action right away. So Fleek retired after Fleek's had a nice day at the plate, a double, a single. That'll now bring up Cole Sprecher, first baseman. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Mitchell last inning had the 1 walk, but other than that was a quick inning. I think a 12-pitch inning or so.
Yep.
He's gone 2 innings already. Or this is his second inning, yeah. Okay. Quickly throws a strike. So Mitchell pounding the zone. There's a hit from Sprecher out to left.
And
we'll see what happens here. Okay, Fensky's ready.
Here it goes.
And we go. Okay, so we're back to predicting things again. And Fensky will be facing the second baseman, which will be Matt Johnson. Let's see here. So, yeah, DH is essentially active for, or no. Oh yeah, they have to make double. It's almost like a double switch, right? Because Fensky's going to re-enter for Langenberg, and then then Theo King will go to first, and essentially he'd be DH for still, because he'd be in the pitcher's slot. Okay, so I think what we'll do again is we're going to throw it back to the truck if they still got some commercials ready for us as Fensky gets loose. It's an 8-6 game. There's 1 out. We'll be back in 60 seconds here at Wildcat Park.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it really all good? Is it
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
I'll see y'all.
I got some batteries and 2 flashlights.
What's up, champ? I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon. Game back again.
Okay, we're back. 8-6 game, 1 out here in the top of the 7th as Mitchell was able to get that first pitch. Griffin Fensky, the closer, will step in. It's Matt Johnson, the second baseman, senior, set to play at St. John's after he follows up Cole Sprecher with that base hit out to left. So the ever important first pitch strike, right, Jamie?
Exactly, yeah, get ahead of this guy.
And there it is. I'd like to see a little bit of aggression, too, from the hitter at the same time.
Yep.
You know, typically it's like new pitcher, got to watch a pitch. And very well, that's going to be the best pitch you see. Fensky has 3 saves on the season. We'll get into his stats here in a second. Ball scooped but kept in front by Lunenborg. Fensky has 6 2/3, 6 games coming into today. Only giving up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 9 Ks, 5 walks, 3 saves. I know he's been itching to get back on the mound because I think about a week or so ago he had a little bit of shoulder issue that they had to kind of hold him back from. And then he was kind of DHing for a few games.
Yep. Didn't get the call that time.
No. 2-1 count, 1 down. Theo King now in at first. So the third different first baseman today for Eagan, which is kind of a rarity. Sprecher is the runner. Fastball a little bit below the knees. Not missing by much.
No, and the catcher looked like he tried to steal that one,
yeah,
but didn't get the call.
3-1 count, 1 out. 8-6 game. Wildcats scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead. So walks Johnson.
That puts the tying run on first base.
Yep. Will Mitchell went 1 1/3, only gave up 1 hit, had 1 walk. He is responsible for Sprecher at first yet, so the book's not closed just quite yet. The designated hitter is Brody Stefani. So forces all over the infield. Fensky, primarily power pitcher, fastball slider. Ripped. Anderson comes up with a big relay in as we watch Sprecher score from second. Good piece of hitting there. I mean, was just waiting for that fastball. Second hit of the inning for Prior Lake. And actually, Eagan got lucky there on that throw by Anderson.
Right.
That Johnson had to stay at second to keep that force alive.
Exactly, and keep the tying run off third base.
Yeah. I was, shocked that he kind of whipped it in, but I think the issue was King didn't get off of first in time to try to cut it off.
No.
So brings out the pitching coach, Luke Degremont. Eagan still clinging on to an 8-7 lead with 1 out here. Matt Johnson will be on second. Stefani with an RBI single at first. They're getting to the bottom of the lineup, but Barrett's the one that hit the big two out RBI single. This is where you want your power pitcher to see if he can get one himself, right?
Right, yeah. Just definitely go after him with this first pitch,
Yep.
get ahead of him.
Exactly.
Then that brings a breaking ball into play.
Yep. Yeah, you get ahead early, then you can start working on the pitches that you have in your arsenal to overpower the hitter, right? But the bottom of the order's had good back control, too, so you can't be throwing it right over the plate. That one's going to get by Lunenborg, which you can't have happen at this moment.
That is about a worst-case scenario.
Yeah, opens up the squeeze.
And you put the go-ahead run at second now.
Go-ahead run at second, yep. Everything changes in one pitch.
Well, now he definitely needs to get one himself.
Yep, right. Yeah, and then now you're probably looking at, well, infield's going to play normal depth, it looks like.
Let's go, Griff. Come on, buddy. Bear down. Let's go, Griff.
All right, 1-0 count to Barrett. Noah Barrett, the third baseman. Had a good day at the plate already. Johnson at third. Stefani at second for the Lakers. Eagan playing straight up. Normal depth. Fastball in there for a strike outside corner. 1-1 count, 1 out. 8-7 game. Eagan leading. Yeah, the tough thing is you want to go to the off speed, but if you don't have the trust in it, now you can't spike one. Fastball, outside corner.
And that time he got the call.
That time he got it low. That one actually was lower and more out than the one to Johnson.
I
two
think you're right,
batters before.
Catcher did a great job of bringing it back.
Yeah, he did bring it back.
He has not been calling that pitch.
No.
Uh-oh.
What is going on here? It's the second time that that the base hump has changed the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that move at all.
No. And, why do you call time and slow down the rhythm of that bat?
And I thought maybe he was going up to tell him he was taking the ball out of his glove and technically balking or something.
Or rushing or, maybe coming to a stop. But, yeah.
This kid's a senior in high school. You don't get balk warnings anymore.
Right. Oh, exactly. It wasn't like he was checking for, lotion in his glove. Swung on and missed. There's that strikeout that Fensky needed on the high heater. Okay, so now it gets real hairy. Number 9 hitter, center fielder, Noah Slates. So for Prior Lake, they have Johnson at third. Stefani, the designated hitter, at second. 2 down, 8-7 game. Fensky picked up his 10th strikeout of the season.
Now you really need your catcher to be a wall back there.
Yeah,
Nothing
absolutely.
can get by.
Yep, absolutely. Plays at first for the infield. First pitch, ripped out to left.
Get behind it. Get behind it.
Gage has got plenty of room, catches it in front of the warning track. So it got a little dicey there in the 7th. I didn't want to say it to you, Jamie, but I had the feeling that they were going to tie it, that we were just going to do this back and forth, one run back, and then we're going to be here till the 12th.
Yep, stick around in a few more hours.
Exactly. So Fensky comes in, though, and does get the job done with that big strikeout, and then the one pitch fly out to left. Eagan gets 3 in the bottom of the 6th to give themselves an 8-6 lead at the time and comes away with an 8-7 win. Lastly, and once again, since this is our last game of the season, we have to tip our hats and thank the Eagan crew back in the box, the wonderful men and women that run the cameras. We also very much appreciate all you guys do for Eagan Athletics. For Jamie Eggleston, I am Casey Lux. Thank you again and have a wonderful evening.